Test. All right. What's up, boxing fans? What's going on? This is Bold and Understanding. Hey, this video is going to be short, so I'm just going to put it like this, man. I'm just going to give a recap on what I saw last night during those fights and whatnot. And to kick off the main card, you had Demetrius Andrade and Demond Nicholson. I thought Demetrius Andrade won in a typical fashion, pretty much the way he normally wins, personally. But I just thought maybe he could have pressed for the knockout a little bit more, but Demetrius Andrade usually wins the way he normally wins and stuff like that. So I'm cool with that. At the end of the day, Demond Nicholson to me just seemed like he did more talking than fighting. Now I will say this: I thought Demond Nicholson was robbed of a knockdown because I did think he did knock down Demetrius Andrade, and I forgot what round that was in, but even though Demetrius Andrade was slipping, he still got hit on the way down. So yeah, I definitely give that knockdown to Demond Nicholson. But also in that round, I thought Demond Nicholson was losing that round regardless if he did have a knockdown or not. So even if he would have got the knockdown, me personally, I would have scored that round a draw because Demetrius Andrade really dominated that round. But other than that, that was a good debut win for Demetrius Andrade. Now, hopefully, in this case, by him being 34 years old, he'll be able to get some of these bigger names that he's been looking for pretty much his whole career. But moving on. So the next fight you had Speedy Rashidi Ellis, and he fought this guy named Vila. In my personal opinion, I know a lot of people said it was a robbery and stuff. I didn't see it that way, personally. I thought that dude was hurting Rashidi Ellis. Rashidi Ellis was looking good very early. He was looking real good early in that fight. He's pretty much styling on the dude, showboating and everything. But when that dude Vila caught up to him and started pressing the jab on him and everything, I thought, to be honest with you, he was getting to him. Now, me personally, I have to go back and look at that fight, but initially I scored that fight 7-5 in favor of Rashidi Ellis. But those two knockdowns to me made a difference. People could say it's a draw, and I'm cool with that. You know what I'm saying? I'm even cool if somebody just said they thought Rashidi won the fight. I'm cool with that too. And I'm cool, of course, the other way if Vila won the fight. But at the end of the day, I'm not going to say it's a robbery. I just thought when those punches really counted, as far as terms of doing damage, I thought Vila did a lot of damage to Rashidi Ellis. Now, the good thing is that both of these guys want to do a rematch, and I'm cool with that. But I tell you what, I think Rashidi Ellis needs to go back to the drawing board and really practice sitting down on his punches. Because once the man got tired, he was a little bit easier to catch up to. If I thought personally, if Rashidi Ellis would have stayed off them damn ropes, he would have easily won that fight. But he made that fight a little bit hard for himself by staying on them ropes a little bit too damn long, especially when you're getting tired like that. Because the guy Vila, that's all he wanted to do is catch Rashidi Ellis on the ropes. But Rashidi Ellis should have kept that fight in the middle of the ring. That's just my personal opinion. Maybe people got it, otherwise. That's on them. Now I want to move on to the Boots fight. Boots for the Karen. I mean, I know that's the running joke. He fought a Karen. What can I say? The thing with Boots, and to me, this is my personal opinion, this is where hype meets reality. From the eye test, Boots look real good, overall, right? But in this fight, he looked like he was a little confused. And that's what I saw. The man said, and they was hyping him up all this week. He said, don't blink, don't grab your popcorn, make sure you already have everything and tune in, don't go to the bathroom and all that. And I'm just going to tell you what I was managed to do. I was managed to not only grab a bag of popcorn, not only finish that popcorn, but I also was managed to go make another bag of popcorn. That's how embarrassing that fight was. See, a lot of people on these media stuff, they, like the fight hypes, the fight hubs and everything, they go and they interview Boots in his camp and everything. And instead of interviewing him about his upcoming fight, they more about interviewing him about, oh, what do you think of Bud? Oh, what do you think of Spence? Oh, what do you think of Bud? Oh, Bud this, Bud that. Like they trying to, and especially they always ask the questions about Bud Crawford. Oh, how you think he did against such, such, such? I'm like, man, what y'all really need to be asking that man leading up to the fight is how's he going to do against this Cameron that he fought? Because this Cameron dude was making Boots miss pretty wide. I mean, Boots was missing a lot of shots. Now, I know a lot of people going to say this guy was running and he was running away from Boots. I don't want to hear that excuse because, to be totally honest with you, if one of your favorite fighters won a fight and somebody said, well, that dude was running, y'all wouldn't like it either. That's just me. That's my personal opinion. I thought this guy had good footwork on Boots. He was more, to me, seemed like he was more being like a defensive fighter. But when he decided to throw on Boots, he was actually tagging Boots up. Now, the only problem with Cameron wasn't sitting on his damn punches. So them punches really didn't do too much to Boots at all. Now, the thing with Boots had a hard time cutting the ring off. He tried to showboat a couple of times. He tried to come in with that Mike Tyson style and was missing. Like missing bad too. I was like, damn, Boots, like what's going on, man? So I thought when Boots, he did had a couple of good rounds when he started going to the body on Cameron. But man, Boots need to, I mean, I know they say he a gym rat. Well, he need to go in there and strategize, whatever. Now, the problem a lot of these young dudes be having in his games when they be talking about they don't watch film on their opponents. Well, I'll tell you what, if that's the truth, then y'all need that. This is a lessons learned. Y'all need to start watching films on the opponents that y'all fighting. All of this, I don't watch film. I don't need to watch film. I just tell Boots to go out there, hit his ass hard and everything else. He gonna do that against the wrong guy, and they gonna knock his head off. So he best to go in there and watch some film. And this is a lot of bulletin material that he should take in his last night fight leading up to his next fight. Because this was embarrassing, in my opinion. My personal opinion. It was an embarrassing showing. But anyway, he did manage to get the win, and congrats to him. But yeah, he needs to they need to sit down and strategize whenever they step in the ring with their next opponent. Whether that's going to be Spence, Crawford, Thurman, whoever, he needs to sit down. Because yeah, from the eye test, he looks flashy and everything. But you got to really put in the work. And you got to really sit down and study your opponent. Anyway, moving on to the main event. The main event between Tank and Garcia. Now, to no surprise, Tank won that fight. I didn't think Tank was ever going to lose this fight prior to the fight happening. But I will say this. In my opinion, this fight was really competitive. It was a competitive fight. I actually had Garcia winning the fight before the stoppage. But at the same time, I thought Tank was I don't know if Tank was just setting traps. I'm not sure what he was doing. But then again, it's no surprise on Tank part because to be honest with you, even in a Rolly fight, I actually had him losing that fight before he stopped Rolly. Now, Tank did catch him, and I forgot what round it was in. He did hurt Hector Garcia with that one punch. Well, actually hit him a couple of times in that round. And it led to, going into the corner. And I guess you heard Hector Garcia saying he can't see, and was unable to come out the ring for the next round. So they called the fight off. So, of course, Tank celebrates and everything else. Now, I'm not sure if Hector Garcia was concussed or whatever the case is, but I do know this. When Hector Garcia was interviewed by Jim Gray, all of a sudden the man could see again. So I don't know. Maybe I don't know what the deal was with that. So I'm not going to speak on it. I'm not going to say it was a setup. I'm not going to say this, somebody paid him to take a dive and none of the other stuff. But I just thought it was kind of funny that once the fight was over, he could all of a sudden see. So maybe he really couldn't see when he went to the corner. So I give him the benefit of the doubt on that one. But it was a good showing by Tank. Now, fortunately, there was, a little scuffle outside the ring, which previously stopped the fight or halted the fight or whatever you want to call it. I think it was a beef between the Meek Mill crew and the Russell crew, the Gary Russell crew, whatever, which led to Meek Mill being, I don't know if they just left on their own or they got escorted out the arena or whatever. But that's one thing I never understood about, combat sports. It seemed like everybody want to have their own little combat outside the ring itself. But, at the end of the day, nobody seriously got hurt. So kudos to that. But yeah. So as far as with Tank Davis, I guess his next fight is going to be against Ryan Garcia. I don't know if that fight is really going to go through. I don't know if that fight really going to go through or not. But if it does, you know what I'm saying? Cool. But at the end of the day, I would like to see Tank against some real competition. My personal opinion. Like, we got Shakur Stevenson in the division now. Devin Haney is the undisputed champion. I'm not sure why this fight never even happened yet. Of course, when Tank said he was going to fight Devin Haney, and that was like over a year ago. And we're coming no closer to that fight than anything. So who knows? I'm not sure. I'm not sure what's going on with that. But we need to see some competitive fight. I'm tired of hearing this belts don't matter bullshit. Because at the end of the day, if Tank had the belts, nobody would be saying that shit. But because somebody like Devin Haney, who's considered like a high risk, low reward, based on, I guess, sales or whatever, or hard to figure out, all of a sudden belts doesn't matter. But I don't know. But anyway, that's just my little rant on this whole boxing situation. I just wanted to come in and just fire off a little bit. I haven't been on in a hot minute. I've been out of town, so yeah, that's just my little joint right here. So yeah, so let me go to the chat, see who's up in the building, if anybody ever came up in here. Okay. Salute to all the Machine. Salute, man. Salute. Lisa Bell's in the building. Queen Bells is in the building. Balaj, salute to you, man. Salute. D Young, what's good? D Young, haven't seen you in a hot minute, man. Salute, bro. And Queen Lady Shan is in the building. Dundum season. Salute, Queen. Salute. Yeah, I just wanted to hop on and give my 2 cents on what I thought about last night fights. If anybody want to come on the panel, I'll drop the link. See, yeah. Yeah, I just dropped the link in the chat. If anybody want to hop on, then cool. Come rock with your boy. Other than that, I don't really had too much else to say. I hope everybody had a great, a happy, I know Christmas already passed about a good week or 2 weeks or so. And I hope everybody this past week had a good Happy New Year's as well. So definitely I'm gonna try to get around to doing more of these lives and stuff especially as I learn how to put all this stuff together, how to really operate this joint. But other than that, I sit around for like, maybe about 30 more seconds before I hop off this live, just in case anybody want to hop on. Yeah. So the next big fight coming up, I believe is this week on Saturday. I know you got Efe Ajagba coming. He's fighting against I forgot, was it Truck Simpson? Was it Truck? I know he's fighting somebody. Is a replacement fighter. I'm not 100% sure, but it's a good fight coming up. Hopefully, we get something better than this. We saw yesterday. Also, to what I understand is that I heard Lamont Peterson got knocked out. I didn't manage to see the fight, but I heard he got knocked out. I'm not even sure who he fought yesterday, but I'm gonna have to go back and watch that fight. Oh, another thing I want to touch on is as far as the Demetrius Andrade situation. I noticed, right, a lot of Canelo fans, right, they were quick to make these videos because every time something comes with Demetrius Andrade, they quick to call them names and everything else. And that's cool if they don't like him or whatever, that's cool. But this is the part I don't understand. So when a lot of times when people talk about Canelo, right, Canelo fans, or fanboys always be like, oh, they be hating on Canelo. They be why they hate, they just hate. And they say that why they hating on fighters that they don't like. Like this dude, Demetrius Andrade, get more hate from Canelo fans than anything. If somebody just mentioned Demetrius Andrade, they call him doo-doo. They call him trash. They call him horrible. The joint ain't even got to be about Canelo, period. The minute they say Andrade, they just call that man trash. So a lot of these guys that be crying about somebody hating on Canelo, they need to cut it out because it looks bad on their part. So if y'all don't like the guy, and that's cool. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, if Demetrius Andrade was as horrible as they claim he was, Canelo would have fought him. Especially if you fight a guy named Rocky Fielding, Avni Yildirim, and certain other fighters that y'all know Demetrius Andrade is a lot better than. So to say Demetrius Andrade is a horrible fighter, y'all know deep down inside, the man is not as horrible as y'all think he is. Might not be the most crowd pleasing, but as far as horrible, I don't see it. But yeah, that's what I got for now. Look like I got somebody in the building. I don't even know. I'm not sure if I've seen this guy before. Oh, Tiani Wade Boxing. I hope y'all pronounce your name right. Let me go ahead and bring you on. How do I did I do something wrong? Okay, here we go.
No, what's up, bro? This Balash. This is my channel name.
Oh, okay. All right, salute, man. Salute to you, man.
Yeah, what's up, man? But nah, yeah, man, I was just chiming in, man. But man, you had a good assessment on the card, man. Like the Rashidi fight, man. I ain't gonna lie, I feel like that was kind of a rivalry, but the Ennis, he did decent, but he not ready for Crawford and Arrows, the likes of them. Definitely got to improve. Andre looked pretty good from what I seen. Um, then what was the other fight? Yeah, Tank. Tank looked good as usual. But like you said, May definitely got to step up a comp. And like you said, bro, I don't know why he hasn't fought Devin yet. I mean, people act like I just hate the double standards, man. Like that shit got to stop, bro. But yeah,
Oh yeah, yeah. I don't understand it either, man. I mean, if because Devin Haney to me, because a lot of times people like to make videos saying Devin Haney ain't got no chin just because he got rocked by Linares.
yeah, right.
But to be honest with you, if these guys like Tank or some other people thought they could really beat Devin Haney, they would have hopped in the ring with him already.
Exactly, exactly. Facts.
But yeah, as far as Rashidi Ellis, I mean, I didn't see it as a robbery per se. I thought the fight was closer. Like
Oh,
like
okay.
don't get me wrong.
No,
Like
yeah. How many rounds you had Rashidi winning? I said at least he was winning 8 to me, but
I had Rashidi winning like 7 rounds, in my
okay,
opinion. But if somebody said 8, I'm cool with that. But my thing with Rashidi is that he didn't close the show.
true.
And that's the problem I had with him. I thought he let this guy, even like to me, I gave this guy Vila, I gave him the 6th round. It was a close 6th round. I gave him the 7th round. And then I gave him like 3 out the last 4 rounds. Because
Okay, leading to 12.
I thought the
Okay,
11th round, I thought Rashidi won the 11th round.
okay.
But yeah, man, he kept getting on that ropes, man, and I didn't understand that. I was like, Rashidi, you making this fight a lot harder than what it really is.
Yeah, man. I think it's just he wasn't really a turning dude, you know, at all. He really wasn't doing that at all. I mean, like if he probably would have turned the guy a few more times. I mean, just more. But shit, he ain't even like I said, he ain't even turn him. So he ain't. Yeah, I know there's a lot of boxers they don't do the fundamentals and assess the necessary fundamentals, man, in the moments that they need to. So, and I don't get it, man. Like, but yeah, in that situation, man, he should have just kept circling, dude. Like, you know. So, but
Yeah,
no, I
yeah,
mean, it is what it is.
yeah, definitely. Like once he got on the ropes, man, he done let this guy come back in there. Cause when dude was hitting Rashidi Ellis, to me, Rashidi Ellis was looking like he was really hurt from these shots.
Yeah, man. Yeah, his gas tank is kind of in question. Like, I noticed, like he was getting fatigued in them later rounds, and he was just pacing himself, not trying to go too hard. Cause it was I forgot, it was one round where he kind of was like letting his hands go, and then like after that round, he kind of just like kind of got tired, and then Doom was seeing the few knockdowns in that last round. But like a couple rounds before that, he was kind of like he like let his hands go, and I think that kind of messed with him, messed with his
Yeah,
condition.
yeah, definitely. What you think? What you think of Boots Ennis?
Oh, I'm gonna tell you this, man. Well, Boost Ennis, man, he a good fighter. Don't get me wrong, but this narrative that you can't tell when he switched. Oh man, you know what I'm saying? He pretty much is the best fighter that we seen, best prospect. He gonna beat the arrow, and the narrative that they pushing is all BS, bro. Like, and that fight that we saw, man, he wasn't cutting off the ring, and people say, but that's what everybody's saying. But I mean, it's really not. At his level, he should be able to know how to cut off the ring. Like every time he was moving to the left, he should have been tracking his back foot. If you, because wherever the fighter back foot is going, that's pretty much, for example, if Karen, when he was moving to the left, if you notice his back foot going to that left side, you should be paying attention to exactly where his back foot going and following that accordingly, with your back foot, you know what I mean? Or your front foot rather. Like
Yeah,
I could explain it better through a video, but yeah, man, he was doing that enough. Um, Definitely was overextending on his punches, wasn't changing the speed, you know what I'm saying? Um, and wasn't really setting them up, you know. So yeah, man, he definitely ain't ready though, man. And it just showed it, bro. Like, and I don't get the fact that Bozy and them talk about, oh, the dude that want to fight and this and that. Like, bro, it's boxing, bro. I don't agree with that running statement too. Like, that's a casual shit. Anybody who say somebody running, I mean, you can say boxing all you want, but you can't. I mean, that's part of fighting. Unless the dude is turning away from you, got his back turned, then okay. But if he's facing you forward, which most fighters do, and they're moving left to right, it's your job to stop what that dude is doing and cut off the ring. That's boxing IQ. Having boxing IQ, you gotta have a solution to a problem, and the solution to a guy who moves a lot is cutting off the ring. Simply timing your shots. So okay, if he's going to the right side, throw hooks, get him back to coming to the other side, and throw uppercut. You know what I'm saying? Up the middle. You know what I'm saying? Like this shit is like this boxing stuff, bro. It's I know this like I could explain this stuff so more, but yeah, man, like he didn't do none of that. So he definitely need work, but Bud would kill him, bro. Bud would kill that dude, bro. He not ready for Bud. He need to stop saying too, like he had said in a couple interviews before his fight. Oh, we fighting the same opponents, bro. You're not fighting nowhere near the opponents that Crawford been fighting, bro. You fought a couple ranked fighters and Lipinets and the Custio Clayton. I don't even know the Lorme was ranked, maybe. And that's it, bro. But you have not fought the type of people Crawford fought. So he like I said, that man, he was living in his own hype, man. And you could tell at the post-fight press conference, he looked moody. You know what I'm saying? You could tell he fell down because, like I say, he talking all that stuff. Oh yeah, we getting out of there. We don't get paid for overtime, all that shit. But couldn't even. I mean, he didn't even knock the dude down. At least, you know what I'm saying? Like, so yeah, man. Definitely, like you said, he got to work, and it ain't about him staying. He stay in the gym, but it ain't about that. He just wasn't, cutting off that ring and simply acting okay. I can't just rely on one punch. So, yeah, man. But
yeah, he was missing real bad, man. Like those punches he was missing. I'm not even gonna lie. It reminded me of that game Mike Tyson Punch Out when them dudes be missing those punches real bad. You get out the way. That's how
yeah,
that shit looked, man. I was like, damn, this is the dude that Don't get me wrong. I like Boots, man, but they hyped him up a little bit too damn much for me. They said this guy was the next thing, and he might be the next thing. I'm not going to take that from him, but he looked like he ain't look good last night. That's all I'm gonna say. You
no,
know,
for
he
sure.
he came in, he tried to do the peekaboo style a couple of times, and he was missing on those punches.
Mm-hmm.
Then the dude was circling around him, and he was,
Exactly. I was about to say that. He was doing what he was supposed to do. Karen was doing what he's supposed to do, circling away from in his power hand, and all that switch hitting stuff didn't work because dude knew how to move to his left and his right. You know what I'm saying? So it was like all that switch hitting. It because and like I said, people make it seem like it's hard to tell when he in his switch. Like I easily knew when he was southpaw, when he was right hand. It wasn't that hard to tell. I mean, like I say, people just put too much mystique on like he's just this excellent switch hitter when he's not.
yeah, and they was calling Ennis the boogeyman and what. I was
No,
just
he's
like,
not the boogie. Yeah. That's BS too. That's BS too, bro. No, and okay, I'm gonna explain why. So if he was the boogeyman, right? All right, so like at 2021, I think, and then I think he got within the top 10. But mind you, it was Stanionis and I think Virgil Ortiz. And correct me if I'm wrong, somebody else, but I know those two that are ranked higher than Ennis that honestly should have got their title shots as soon as really like the next year or so. But like, they should have been got the title shot. But I mean, after he beat Lipinets and he fought Delorme, he just jumped from the top 10 to like top 5 out of nowhere. Like, you know what I'm saying? And then all of a sudden he talking this, oh yeah, man, I want the best fighters and they not trying to fight me. And it's like, that's how can you say a dude not trying to fight you when one, you haven't even sent no one no offer. You haven't I don't haven't heard of him send no offer to no Errol or even Crawford. Only thing he has done so far is what we hear. He petitioned for the IBF and going to try to possibly see if he get a fight with Errol, which it looked like it might happen. Not the fight with Errol, but obviously he's going to get his title shot. I don't know if it'll be Errol, because I think Errol. I did a video on why I think the Errol Crawford fight will happen this year. But anyway, yeah, he pretty much he get his title shot. But honestly, man, I mean, this boogeyman that people saying like they not trying to fight him. It's not true, bro. Like you just got in the rankings like a year or so. Definitely like a year or so. You haven't even been in the division long enough to say that. You know what I mean? So, yeah, bro.
Yeah, and he seemed like he was throwing nothing but power shots too.
Oh no, yep, exactly.
That shit ain't gonna fly against, like, I know I talk like a lot of shit about Errol Spence, but I think Errol Spence will beat him.
For sure. Yeah, even against Errol, like, I mean, one thing too, man, I mean, there's so much levels to this. But yeah, we're gonna talk on Errol, like, but yeah, the inside, I mean, and his inside isn't really all that either. He didn't really show it in this fight, of course, because the dude really obviously didn't make it to where he could fight on the inside, but he's gonna have to show that inside that he's talking about he got, you know what I'm saying, and show okay how good of a fighter he is if you want to think he have a chance to get Errol, because doing on the power shots, especially against a dude like Errol, even Crawford, we ain't got to talk about that. I mean, look at the Avenesian fight. Crawford showed you he was framing, he was using his lead shoulder. You know what I'm saying? How you post fight on the inside. If you want to see some good inside fight, look at that last fight. That's how you fight on the inside.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And I have never seen no Ennis or nobody really do that. A lot of fighters don't really, show good inside fighting, ability. But when I seen that Crawford in the Avenesian, when I seen that layer to Crawford, I got Crawford watching Errol, man. Like, he's definitely stopping Errol. For sure. Yeah. But yeah, with the Ennis, yeah. I mean, yeah, he gonna have to do a little bit more than what we saw last night. For sure.
Yeah, and what's so crazy is like a lot of people had like all types of nicknames for Dave Avenesian and whatnot. They call him anesthesia, amnesia, avocado. Right. They had all this stuff.
It was crazy, right. It was crazy. Not even trying to cut you off. He was ranked in the top 10 and above in 3 body organizations. That was higher than in his last opponent. He was ranked higher than in his last opponent. So, I mean, he honestly fought a better opponent than Ennis, who Ennis had fought last night. This dude, they took him off the WBA, but if you would have looked back, Avenesian was ranked in 3 section bodies above the top 10. And obviously he was highly ranked in the WBO. He was like top 5, I think, or something like that. Or 6. One of the two. But yeah.
Yeah, definitely. And the thing is that I remember seeing a video of Bozy Ennis was talking about Terrence Crawford should have got Avenesian out of there a little bit earlier than what he did.
Right.
But here it is, his own son couldn't even take out a
exactly, bro. People don't understand. Like Bozy, cool man. He a good father to his son, and he definitely know what he talking about. Obviously, he been in the game, he boxed before.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of stuff he's saying is scattered, and it is, you could tell he has this thing where it's not, do not give Bud too much credit. I did a live on that too on my channel about that. But anyway, yeah, like talking about Crawford starting, slow, is like that's technically not what Crawford doing. I don't know if you see some of the Tank fight, like they were praising Tank in the after the fight, like, oh man, you were calculating data, you know what I'm saying? You was figuring them out. You know what I'm saying? They were like, yeah, see, that's how you supposed to do it. But what Crawford do it is, oh, he's starting slow, and no, Crawford's doing the same thing, but
Yeah.
instead he's actually not just collecting the data, he's wearing you. Like in that Avenija fight, he was wearing dude to the body. He was setting him up the whole night. You know what I'm saying? Like, so when Bozy said that, he doesn't know and I'm gonna be real, he doesn't know what he's talking about. It's not starting slow. Starting slow is like a Canelo, or it's like a fighter who's losing the first 4 or 5 rounds and they're trying to catch up. That's starting slow, so you're trying to get back into the pace of fight. If you look at every Crawford fight, Crawford is not um, catching up in a fighter trying to. He's always in the fight. Even in the Porter fight, he was in the fight. He really wasn't far off, which he might have lost like what, I think the second round and third round, but really he was still in the fight. I mean, that fight was highly competitive, So when people say that, it's like you don't know what you're talking about. Like you got to be more specific than saying starting slow, because there's a difference. You know what I mean? So
And to me, like I don't have any problems like if somebody starts slow, because at the end of the day, it's supposed to be a 12-round fight. You
exactly,
know, if you start quick and then you gas out like a Rashidi Ellis, that's the perfect example.
exactly.
He started so fast, he ended up gassing out, and dude caught up to him.
Yep, exactly, man. You said it right there. That's a valid point. Sometimes if you start too fast and you look too sharp, depending on your conditioning, you could pretty much, it could bite you in the ass later on. That's why endurance is important, man. And you know, that's what I like to add too. I knew you heard this term before where they say old school fighters, don't rely on athleticism like the new school fighters today. But
Mm-hmm.
that statement is flawed, because you have to have athleticism. And even the old fighters back then had to have athleticism in order to be good and be great, because endurance is a part of athleticism. You got to have some type of strength, which is part of endurance, to take a punch, have punch resistance, and be able to move around in the ring and have some type of speed, some type of athletic ability to even be a high level boxer. So that, quote or statement, when people say that, is flawed. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, man. So what's your boxing channel? This is it right here with your
Yeah,
name
it's here
on
right
there?
here, man. Yeah, Oteti Anyway Boxing, man. It means to always be prepared, always stay ready, and that's how what I live by. That's something that I always like to, you know, I'm a sound mind dude, level headed dude. So in life I like to always have a plan when I'm doing something. It's just something like I follow. It ain't something
Yeah,
that I what you would say I try to follow. I just it's just in me. I'm always a dude. I like to always be prepared and always know what I'm about to do before I do it. So yeah, man.
yeah.
Yep.
I'm gonna go ahead and subscribe to your channel, man.
Yeah, yeah. You might not be able to find it. I might have to link it, but no, man.
No,
Yeah.
I see it right now.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
man.
said
My latest video going viral, man. I ain't expected to go that viral, but
you just put one out like 14 hours ago. Said post fight
yep.
Javante.
I did a
Oh, okay,
lot.
I got
Then
you.
and then my regular video, I did a take on why I think the Crawford and Arrow fight would happen this year. That stuff, like, I think it's like 300 views right now.
Oh, damn,
And
nice,
that's like
nice.
my 10th. Yeah, it's crazy. Like, so yeah, yeah, yeah. You definitely check that out, because I kind of explain. I'm not just saying, oh yeah, man, the fight's gonna happen. I'm explaining, like, kind of in detail, different clues and stuff of what Arrow said on Twitter, and I'm kind of linking things together with both fighters were saying, and gave my opinion on why I think the fight will happen, possibly April, definitely late April or May, sometime in the summer, possibly June at latest.
Hmm.
Yeah, man. But no, yeah, definitely check it out, man. Appreciate it, man. But yeah, bro.
Yeah, I mean, I'm always
Mm-hmm.
down for what I'm saying, always supporting channels and stuff like that, man, because at the end of the day, it's like a lot of us like with small channels, man. One of us gonna blow up one day. You know what I'm saying? and instead of people be like, yo, like just happen to hop on, you be like, yo, I've been there from the beginning. You know what I'm saying? When dude was putting in
Yeah,
the
yeah.
grind, you
I'm
know
gonna
what I'm
remember
saying?
everybody, man. Yeah, I know what you mean exactly. Yeah, I definitely know what you mean, man. Cause a few people been telling me to make a channel, and I just didn't feel like I had the right branding. Like right now, something that made sense to me to make and start making videos on. I didn't want to just have any type of name, any type of like. I wanted to be different, you know. I'm different. I ain't trying to be like everybody else. So
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, definitely.
yep.
A modest on the channel, man. What's good, man?
What's good with y'all? How y'all doing, man?
Chilling, chilling. Just going over some recap from last night's fights and whatnot.
Oh, the $80 robbery.
Oh wow, that's funny you said that. That boy
$80
was.
robbery. What part? I kind of came in. I heard the other gentleman talking about Boots. Him kind of being maybe a
Yeah,
little
what
overrated.
you think of Boo's performance last night?
Yeah, that's kind of the main topic.
I liked the form, honestly. I thought he got a chance to finally go 12 rounds. Going there against a style that wasn't just right in front of him, make him, think a little bit, and he seemed like he was frustrated a little bit. So got to see some holes in his game you normally don't get to see. So I think it actually was a good thing for him because that's something he can go watch film on, go back to the drawing board and improve. I know a
Like a
lot.
less is learned type of thing.
Yeah, you can't
Mm-hmm.
skip them fights. Every fighter had to go through those fights to get better. So I think some people overreacting to a little bit because I think we could pretty much find fights like that for everybody where they didn't look so good or they struggled a little bit. And so if it turns out to be that, oh, now the next fighter
Mm-hmm.
and then can move and shift a little bit and he struggle again, then we know, okay, he can't deal with fighters with movement. But if it's just a one fight situation, the next fighter you fight like that, he knock out early or he look good against, and okay, that was just a developmental fight, which he need anyway. So that's how I look at it. But I do agree though with and Bo, you talk about this all the time. It's not Boots per se; it's the fans saying he can beat everybody,
No, he
saying that
said
he'll
this
run.
too. He
Right,
said he's gonna knock dude out and everything, and that it's gonna be easy work. So
but he supposed to say that. But I don't mind the fighter saying that. I'm saying everybody else saying he the next Roy Jones. It's the hype around the fighters that make you not want to root
him
for a
believing
fighter or
it
go
too.
against a fighter. He should believe
Right.
it because honestly, up to this,
I can't say that he hasn't done enough to say all those things that people saying.
well, I don't know. Maybe everybody a different type of person. I believe that if I fight anybody, I'm gonna whoop them. That's how I think. Like there's no reason for me to think
Right.
otherwise. So, I want my fighters to be arrogant a little bit overconfident. As long as you putting the work in. I know down there in Philly, Boots, he always working. He always putting work in. So, that's the reason he feel that way. And shit, he can't find sparring partner. Like it's a lot to it. It ain't just he ain't fighting nobody yet, and people ain't jumping up to fight him either. So,
Like who?
I think say again.
You said nobody ain't trying to fight him. Like who? I already explained. That's false.
Not necessarily. When Rashidi Ellis saying he didn't get paid enough, look a little funny when you haven't made much money in the first place. So how I take that as, and one of y'all can feel free to correct me. If you're
Oh
saying that you
no.
haven't made as much money yet, you're saying it's not enough money to fight Boots. Well, that's obviously viewing him as some type of threat, and it looks like you don't believe in your skills as well because you didn't want to fight him. Virgil
Yeah.
Ortiz manager basically saying, nah, that's not a fight we're really interested in right now. Maybe later down the line, which again is implying that you believe in the hype as well because you don't think it's if you're knocking off another young prospect, it makes you look better. So it's if you're talking about him not I think it's almost I won't say ducking, but capping, talking about he want to fight Bud, even though he knows he's not gonna get that fight. I agree with that. But in the fighters that's more on his level, and you see how they react when his name's brought up, or they just don't seem as interested in fighting him.
Yeah, that's only
It's some truth in that.
yeah. With them two fighters, yeah, but I wouldn't say just the elite fighters like the Arrow or Crawford, Keith, or
Well, we know
even
Keith ain't fighting him. It's really
we can't say
people
that.
just talking about it's Keith Thurman looking for a cash out. That's like if Keith ain't looking to fight nobody but Earl or Crawford, and really it's just Earl because he had the opportunity to fight Crawford. I don't think anybody gonna fight Crawford, to be honest with you. But that's a different discussion, I guess. But just focused on Boots. It's like they're taking that, as usual, people just going too far. Where he is being ducked somewhat, but then you're trying to make it like the whole division ducking him. That's not true. Or he does deserve some hype, but then y'all overhyping him by saying he's the next Warrior. So really, it's supposed to be. It should be somewhere in the middle. But I feel like a lot of times the fans are the ones, or the so-called fans,
No, that's true.
are the ones who take it too far. Did y'all get a chance to talk about the Andre performance or Rashidi Ellis performance?
Yeah, we talked about
yeah.
it a little bit, but
Yeah,
yeah, Andre looked pretty good.
What? He looked good.
Yeah, Andre. Yeah, we talking about Andre, right?
You thought he looked pretty bad?
I think you can pull up any Andre fight pre Johnny Beck timeline, and he looked way better. Andre looked. I don't know if it's probably a combination of him being 34, being out of the ring for a year, being in a new weight division. He looked slower. Looked like his reflexes aren't as sharp. Looked like his punch resistance, which just to touch on Boots' opponent. That's why I do believe in such things as weight bullies, etc., etc. The reason people were surprised that I don't even know how to say his last name. I'm gonna just say Karen. Karen can move for 12 rounds. Well, yes, that's what happens when you're fighting at your actual weight class. You don't got to cut 20, 30 pounds and you try to rehydrate up. You can actually be in shape and just train and get in shape, and you can train the proper way so you can move for 12 rounds. Most of the fighters are cutting 20, 30 pounds, right? So
yeah,
then,
that's what you're saying. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
so that's
true,
another thing with Andre in terms of it's kind of if you've always watched him fight, doesn't have bad punch resistance. He doesn't hit. He just doesn't have the greatest either. I think it's the reason why we are the same size. I'm about 6'1", walk around about 192. So to cut down to 154, it's a reason for that. And of course, if you can make the weight, you can make the weight. But it's the reason why you're naturally a middleweight, super middleweight, arguably, and you cutting all the way down to that weight class. It's because your punch resistance as well, and then your power. It's not that he doesn't have power; he just doesn't have concussive knockout power. He hits hard enough. Obviously, he can keep most of his opponents honest. I'd be worried about that if he fought David Benavidez, how he looked last night. I'd be worried about that too if he fought Charlo. And the only reason I say that
you don't think it's the rust?
But see, Bold, I don't know if you remember, me and King David argued about that before. Shout out to him. I've been saying that Andre is slipping out his prime, but that's gonna happen naturally if you're not fighting as you should. It's gonna happen naturally too if the level of opponents you tend to fight down to your level a lot of times. Not saying he should, but I think he's 34. You know what I mean? Like it just is what it is.
Yeah, with him, like you saying, he fight the competition. I think he know that, but he's trying to fight the best dudes, and all he could fight is the people that he has on his resume because the Canelo didn't want to fight him, Golovkin didn't care to fight him, and Gia didn't care to fight him. And the Janibek dude, like he said, he couldn't make the weight, so it was no point of staying down there.
You think Andre would have made the weight if Golovkin wanted to fight him? Being honest.
No. If he couldn't make the weight, I don't think he could make the weight. And no, Golovkin didn't want to fight him. So I don't see why Golovkin would have wanted to fight him any other time.
No, I'm saying if Golovkin said, okay, I'll fight you at 160.
That's an if, bro.
Titles. I'm asking your opinion.
No, I can't, because that's an if. I don't think it will happen.
That's not answering. Okay, that's a weird answer. Bo,
no, it's not. Because at the end of the day, it's a hypothetical question, which I'm not going to answer.
That's fine. Bo, do you think that if Golovkin offered the money that Andre would made fighting Golovkin, you think that Andre would have found a way to fight at 160?
Honestly,
I think he would have, because like you said, if the money is right, people do, you know what I'm saying, whatever they gotta take for that money fight, you know.
I
don't know if Andre had a bad showing yesterday. I mean, he fought the guy yesterday normally the way he fights pretty much in all of his fights. It to me, Damon Nicholson, he didn't do anything in that fight but just talk. That's all he did. He did more talking than fighting.
Right. We were saying I ain't never seen somebody get punched so much and still acting like they're not almost. But Andre was sloppy last night. Like how he was fighting.
Hmm.
Could you picture a straight jab by Charlo not being able to land when you fighting like that? And every time that Andre got hit with something he didn't like, he tried to tie him up immediately. Like if you I'm assuming y'all well, both. I know you watch a lot of boxing. I'm assuming you watch boxing a lot of boxing. Well, a lot of fighters who are quote unquote pure boxers, or they prefer to box more, is usually because of certain weaknesses and then et cetera, et cetera. Right? We ain't got to get full breakdown because y'all understand. Andre has always done that, where if he gets hit with something he don't like, might buzz him a little bit, he immediately ties up, which is smart. What I'm
Yeah.
saying is that how he
Mhm.
looked last night with what I would say would be a C-level opponent, and Andre is
Mhm.
perceived by a lot of people to at least be a B plus, if not an A. That performance wasn't a good performance then. Where you what he dropped him twice, I think,
No, he dropped about 3 times, I
3
think.
times,
So
right?
I mean,
Could
well, I don't think it was too bad. I mean, he won every round, I believe, but
it didn't
I
look
think it was a
good
round
though.
he got
If
knocked down.
y'all know Andre because y'all studied him. If y'all was showing somebody Andre the first time, and that was the first time they ever seen him, that would be a bad performance. Because they'd be go, this the guy that supposed to beat Canelo. This the guy that Golovkin supposed to be scared of. This the guy that Jamal supposed to
Yeah, I
be
mean,
scared
it's
of.
true. I
And
mean,
then he's looking progressively worse in every fight.
But
And
Jamal didn't have a good fight in his last fight either, though.
yeah,
he
yeah,
damn
yeah.
sure did.
But I see your point. But at the end of the day, yeah, of course, when it's due to his fault and Andre, she kind of okay. If I can't get the guys, that I want to fight because they don't want to fight me, I'm just not gonna fight anybody. I'm gonna sit out for a year and fight some mandatory. I mean, of course, he's gonna look kind of bad, but I don't think that performance that he had last night is we're gonna question him. I think if Canelo or anybody Golovkin want to come up again and try to challenge, they will get beat. You know what I'm saying? They're not gonna go and fight him. You know what I'm saying? Because he still has all his marbles. He know what he's doing in there. Yeah, you right. He kind of got hit and he didn't, like so he tied in. But at the end of the day, I mean, shoot, it happens, bro. Like a lot of people respond to reruns different. Like Crawford, shoot, he been out the ring for about a year, and you see how he, with ring rust responded. So everybody is different. You know what I mean?
Crawford at a different level than Andre though.
No, I wouldn't say that.
Yeah, I'm not gonna disrespect Crawford because Crawford's fought the better opponents. So
True, but I
I'm
mean,
not an
they
eye
kind of on the
test.
same skill level. Even
I'm not
Crawford
a
said this
yeah,
himself.
but you're doing that based off of eye test though. And for me, eye test is like 25%. I don't put too much stock in it because a lot Boots looks good until we just saw him not look good. So eye test for me isn't as high. I'll always put resume over everything. You have to still look otherworldly or still look slick or still look powerful against top level opponents or high level opponents. And you
But
can't
if you
in
can't
that
get them, what
narrative,
can you do though?
but
You
that's
can't
not
go off resume if you can't get the
but
high quality people.
that's not
So,
true. We just
so who? So
saw
who could?
Andre waste Andre was out of the ring because of Andre and his team. That's the only reason he was out of the ring.
Yeah, but also because the people he wanted to fight didn't want to fight him too.
What did he do to get in position to fight him?
He was a champion.
But see,
What are you talking about?
that's also not fair too
Exactly. What
because
are you talking about? The dude was a champion, and he defended his title like multiple times. There was no reason for Golovkin not to fight him.
yeah, but this my thing
And
though.
he was a mandatory for
Like-
Canelo, and Canelo didn't want. I know, bro. I'm just saying, like this, you should know this already. I mean, the dude, there was every reason to fight the guy.
No, it's not every reason to fight.
Yeah,
him.
it is.
No,
If
it's
you're
not
a
every-
fighter, if people say this, Canelo fights everybody, but he's clearly didn't fight certain fighters in his career that we know of, the Charlos. He's not trying to fight Benavidez. He won't fight people like Morrell for sure, and he definitely don't want to fight Andre. How is we know he's fighting everybody?
I don't know what.
This is what people say. This is what Ennis has said.
What
Oh yeah,
do
he
you
fights
say?
everybody.
Hold on, but I don't
But
want to
you-
hear what people say. What do you say? So you're
I'm
so
saying
so
that at the end of the day that
you gotta let somebody else
Andre
talk, big dog.
resume is what it is because people like Golovkin, Canelo didn't want to fight him
So
because they knew they would
Andre,
lose.
so Charlo
And-
pulled out of
and-
the fight or Andre did?
You said what?
Charlo didn't want to fight Andre either.
No, I'm saying Andre pulled out of the fight or Charlo did. I just want to go by.
Oh no.
facts.
Yeah, when we talk
No,
about that,
I'm gonna put it like this. I don't.
He
The
didn't.
fight,
Yeah.
there was no contract signed to begin with,
Exactly.
and then on top of that,
They offered him
that fight,
a little money.
Andre on that whole card, Andre was the only champion, and he was
Exactly.
getting lowballed in that whole card. He was going to make the least out of everybody on that whole card as the champion.
That doesn't make no sense, bro.
But you know, Andre said himself that's not the reason he pulled out the fight, right?
What would he say?
He said, so the reason why he pulled out of the fight, because Rock Nation asked him to pull out the fight so they can get him a better deal, right? So Rock Nation, and then he also said legally he can't really go into details because then he'll get sued, etc. But originally, because typically his dad's been his manager, his dad's a bad businessman, Andre's been a bad businessman. Whatever, it just is what it is, right? He pulled out. That's why I asked you. I was seeing if I'm gonna get a straight answer. He pulled out of that fight, right? For whatever reason, he pulled out of the fight. So then I think Johnny Beck being an Olympian, right? We typically give Olympians more credit because being an Olympian is like going to get your bachelor's or your master's degree, right? Johnny Beck, that fight, the reason why it didn't happen is Andre saying, well, it's not worth it. It's basically risk reward. That I'm not feeling, because then the narrative for Andre whole career has been he's never been worth the risk, right, for the reward, right?
Okay.
So then I hear what you're saying. If you're talking about 154, did Canelo duck Andre? I 100% agree he did duck him because he literally fought for the belt as soon as he got shot. Hold on, champ. Let me finish.
No, yeah.
He got the fight. He got the fight, and then Andre wanted to fight him. Canelo didn't want to fight him. He gets stripped. Canelo immediately fights for the belt. That's a duck, right? There's no argument with that. But then when you're going, if I'm supposed to buy the business excuse for the Charlo fight, so then when Canelo goes, well, the goal was unified middleweight. Oscar De La Hoya signed him up for a fight that he wasn't even aware of, and then there has to be some type of truth to that. Because then
what fight wasn't he aware of?
Remember, they're trying to get him to fight Servian Devin. Golden Boy trying to sign him to fight Servian
Derenchenko,
right? Yep, instead of fighting Andre. Hold on, I got you, Bo.
Okay, go ahead.
The reason why you have there's evidence to prove that was a true scenario, because what happened immediately after that? Golden Boy and Canelo go to court. He splits, get away from Oscar De La Hoya, right? So even if you go, there's at least proof there to go. They weren't on the same page, right?
Hold on. They went to court because of that situation. Is that
no? They went. No. Canelo's trying to get away from Oscar anyway. But that was a straw. That was a straw that broke the camel's back. Because Canelo going, hold on, you're trying to have me do things that you're not I don't need you as a boss, basically. So why are you having me take fight? You're trying to hire me, Mugi, and me at this point. I don't need you to. I can do my own thing, essentially, right? And so, this is why. See, I say this all the time, Bo. You would think I'm not an Andre fan, but I got smoke for everybody. If I see you acting funny and moving a little funny and doing ducky type shit, because to me, duck Johnny Beck. If the goal was I'm not gonna fight Johnny Beck, I'm gonna move up to fight Zach Parker. But hold on, you didn't fight Zach Parker. And then not only did you not fight him, you faked the injury, called out Eubank, even though Eubank got to fight. Now, any other time when a fighter calls out another fighter knowing he got to fight, we call it a duck. So you pull out the Parker fight, call out Eubank because you're drunk. That's a duck. Then you supposed to fight Parker again. Now you realize you fucked up because they done lowballed you with a purse that they know you're not going to accept. Just for John Ryder, who ain't even half the fighter you are, to beat him anyway.
We can't really say that.
Hold on, I got you. What did that do? What did that do for John Ryder? Made him a mandatory for Canelo.
Right.
So then
let me ask you this though, Amadis. Do you think even if Andre would have fought Zach Parker for that low ball offer, do you think Canelo would have ended up fighting Demetrius Andre if he would have beat Zach Parker?
No, but I think he would have got a belt. I think he would have had a belt at 168. So then now he has now it doesn't look like you ducked Johnny Beck. So even if you're going, well at the end of the day, still wouldn't have fought him. That's still a duck because you didn't fight a fighter that people saying you scared of, right? I think you'd have beat Johnny Beck, by the way.
Yeah, I thought he'd beat Johnny Beck too. I thought personally, in my opinion, I always said Demetrius Andre should have fought Johnny Beck because they did hyped up Johnny Beck, and the Canelo fans was hyping up Johnny Beck. So if he'd have just beat Johnny Beck, only thing that Canelo fans would have did is just say, "Oh, well, you just beat a nobody." They'd have just went right back to that. But other than that, I thought he personally should have fought Johnny Beck just because he got that ESPN machine pushing him out there.
Yeah. I see your point, bro. I just say the only thing we can't really say the shoulder injury was fake unless you got evidence to prove that, and then we can't say either that he can make 160 if he said himself that he couldn't make the weight anymore. So that's why he's at 168. So we just got to look at reality. That's all I can say on that. But I mean, yeah, yeah, you could say he ducked him. I mean, but I mean, shoot, honestly, shoot, if it's something that your body can't make the weight and it doesn't make sense for you to make the fight, I mean, how can you? If Janabek never made an offer or there were a fight that was scheduled and he pulled out, I can't really say he ducked.
But see, this is what we got to pick and choose what we're gonna subscribe to, because you
I
have
ain't picking
insight.
choosing on nothing, man.
Hold on, because
What am I picking or choosing on?
what you're saying though isn't the truth, because you
The truth,
literally
yeah, it is
have.
the truth. The
Bro,
reality is, you said
you can't
he
keep
had a
cutting me
shoulder
off.
injury. This is
But you
true, and he
can't
said he
keep
can't make
cutting
the
me
weight.
off. How do you have an answer before I ask you the question?
No, you don't. No, I'm telling you. The fact is, he had a shoulder injury. You saying that he don't, but how can you prove that he didn't?
Because what was
And
the shoulder injury, and then show me because we have access to information. What was the
yeah,
shoulder injury? What was the recovery time? So now I can go look it up for myself. I might have had an injury myself. I might be able to tell you, nah, that's not normal. That's not a normal recovery time
I
to have
would
a
say
fight
ask him.
immediately
You
after.
asking me? I'm not his team,
Right.
and you would be able to
There
find
is
out.
none. So
No,
then
you can't. You can't. No, you can't go off that.
I
You
looked
can't.
it up. There is none, right? So then if you so you go
How
ask.
you? What you mean? You can't look up a fighter's injury? You what? What are you talking about?
So what is Stanionis? Why is the fight between Virgil Ortiz and Stanionis off now?
He said he had emergency surgery. You got to
On
go
what?
prove that too. Yeah, anything you have to go prove. You can't just say that because you feel like it is in your personal opinion.
No, he said that. This is my point. He stated what injury he had, right, or what surgery he had to have, which has the timeline of which how long you can expect him to be out. Just like Earl Spence's crash, XYZ is hurting on me. This is the recovery time by the doctor. Shamir Charlo with his hand. Okay, this is the recovery time by the doctor. This is how long you can expect for me to be out, right?
So what's the query time for Charlo Hand? What, a couple weeks?
One second, hold on.
Because they say a month, so you can't go off Google if you're looking at your hand heals in 2 months, a couple weeks. I mean,
my thing is, what is Jamal Charlo? Because I mean, the man been out the ring for almost 2 years now. I mean, he's been out for a year and a half. But yeah, I mean, personally, I thought Andre should have fought Janabek just to get him out the way. You know, if he'd have got him out the way, he would have became the super champ. Whereas though he wouldn't even had to fight Zach Parker to begin with, or John Ryder, he would have just got the super WBO thing. Yeah, so he would have just moved up and already have cut the line. But at the end of the day, Canelo wasn't going to fight Demetrius Andre anyway.
Right. Yeah, I was gonna say him fighting Janabek, he would have came a super champion.
Yeah, I thought he should have been a super champion now, but
I'm about to say that. I thought it was, I don't know, because with WBO, I think you have to have a certain amount of defenses and something else to become a super champion. I don't know exactly.
I think it's like 5 defenses or something.
Yeah, and I know he got some around there. He definitely got. So I would have thought he would probably already be one. But you know what? That fight would have definitely probably been his 5th or whatever title defense. To fit the criteria. So yeah, you probably are right on that. But like I say, I mean, I can agree. He's just stubborn in that case. But at the end of the day, I mean, hey, if I feel like I want to screw out the best, I want to call out the best. And if I can't get it, it's like shit. It's like, what's the point? I mean, yeah, on business side, he should have took more fights, but he probably felt like it would have probably been fights that would have been like risky or fights that would have probably detracted him from the course towards the other fighters. But yeah, I mean, as far as business wise, the only thing he could have done was take more fights. But everybody has their reasons. I mean, that's the only business thing, because in business it's all about just trying to make profit or revenue off something. You know what I'm saying? You're on your occupation. His occupation is boxing, so the only business move he should only can do is box more.
But my bad, Joe. I had to step away. My daughter needed me real quick. But but Charlo had to verify his
he had a
doctor's
with the doctors.
No, I'm talking about the Jamal Charlo. What was his because I mean he hasn't even been back in the ring. Do you think he was faking?
Same thing, Bo. You know how the PBC schedule go. We ain't got enough money for your fight. Fake injury. That's what I'm saying, bro. I don't pick and choose sides. I think I'm gonna call bullshit when I see it. Andre injury is bullshit. It was because he didn't want to take the fight. Wasn't worth it to him. Whatever your reason it is, It don't make it you set out the ring not fighting, so then you look like shit against Nick. To me, if you telling me Andre's this is the issue when people try to say like what he just said, Andre looks like he in the same level as Crawford. My issue is Crawford gets
We're
guys
talking
like
about
that.
skill wise.
Crawford
I'm
gets
talking about
guys
skill
like that,
wise.
but Crawford historically gets guys like that out of there, even if it's late. So then,
Yeah, true. But
so
skill
everybody
wise,
don't have
they're
to
on
be
the
a
same level.
knockout. Everybody don't have to be a knockout artist. And the other reason why I disagree with what you're saying is Crawford.
You don't have to disagree. The fact it's a
To
fact.
be
I mean, Terrence
no
Crawford said to himself they're on the same level skill wise. So you,
skills aren't a fact. That's an
yeah, it is.
opinion.
No, it's not.
Skills themselves, but
The
skills
fact
them.
is that they're on the same level. You can see it in their fights. I mean,
That's
he
an
does. He can.
opinion.
It's not
That's
an opinion. It
that's
can
an
be proven.
anecdotal
This could be
opinion.
shown. A fact can be shown. I can show you that. You see all his fights. He know how to change levels. He has power, but that's not an opinion. No, it's
But
not.
you're giving me your.
I can
Okay,
prove.
so what?
No, a fact is
Hold
something
on.
that can be proven.
So-
Go look at some of his fights. You telling me he's not on the same skill level? What
And
do
you're
you
gonna
mean?
ask me to give my anecdotal opinion, which is not a fact.
No, I said go look at
Right.
the fact,
You're
which
asking me
is
to
a
go
fight.
make an assessment based off a fight, right? In which I'm gonna come back with
I
you with
mean,
my opinion on what I think.
bro. Listen, bro. When you have skills, bro, you got to know how to pretty much know what a fighter is trying to do and take that away from him.
Right.
He does that just like Crawford does. That's skills, bro. He don't. Okay. Do you agree with that, Bo?
I mean, Andre, he does.
I'm talking about skill wise, and then that's all I got.
I mean, from a skill standpoint, Andre, he's very skillful. I mean, he changes levels and everything.
I mean,
but I think what Amadis is saying is, if I let me understand correct, you saying the level of competition?
Yeah, I understand. I'm just saying the skill wise with the competition. Yeah, I can say it, but skill wise, they're definitely on the same level. Not
the competition is how you determine how skilled somebody is. This is
nah,
why when
no,
people
not
tell
necessarily.
me, bro, you got to let somebody talk, man. When people tell me Floyd's a better defensive fighter than Pernell Whitaker, I always disagree with that. Or James Toney, I always disagree with that because I watched James Toney and I watched Pernell Whitaker fight at a higher level of competition more consistently throughout their careers, and at times still look otherworldly defensively. I didn't watch Floyd fight, whether it's his fault or not. I didn't watch Floyd fight certain fighters in their absolute prime and still look otherworldly defensively. That's why I typically put them ahead of him when you talking about who's the greatest defensive fighter of all time. So if you're telling me Andre and Crawford are at the same level because of skills, right? Use an example as well when people are comparing Boots and Vergil Ortiz. Well, Boots has more eye-catching power, speed, etc. I put Vergil over him because Vergil has fought the better competition and has still knocked people out and still been somewhat dominant. So if you're telling me, well, Boots looks better, I don't care if he looks better. I don't care he can switch it. I don't care he can do all of that if he's only doing it against a certain level of competition. So if Andre hasn't fought the same level competition Crawford has, and then not only when Crawford fought that competition, he still looked elite. I'm not going to say they're in the same level of skills when you have
they still look elite.
Exactly.
I mean, I can see that, but I don't.
That's all I'm saying.
I understand that, but I don't think that that would matter. I mean, if they were have elite fight, I'm pretty sure their skills would still be able to show. Like especially like when you compare the Ennis and Vergil.
Gave me a hypothetical. I thought you don't do hypotheticals.
I mean, we can look at Ennis, for example. Ennis does show more layers of ability than Vergil Ortiz.
Against who?
Against the people he fought.
Because he just didn't show it. He
against this guy, but I mean,
which perfect example of what I'm
talking about.
But he
has to, for example, I mean, Vergil doesn't really throw his jab enough. He doesn't uses his knees. He really just cuts off the ring sometimes here and there, but he's not a good outside fighter. He doesn't mix up his shots, set up his shots a lot. I mean, it's so much levels that come with it. Like I say, the definition of skill is trying to have a solution to something. I mean, in every fight, Ennis knocks dudes out of there because he know what they're trying to do and he stopped. Yeah, they might not be a good competition or opposition, but he still does that. But he got layers too. I mean, he can fight on the inside, not as probably great as Vergil, but I mean, he shows more layers than Vergil. I mean, Vergil is not a fluid fighter.
Vergil actually throws very fluid combination.
Not like Ennis, bro.
But Virgil is defensively irresponsible.
Exactly. I mean,
Yeah,
like I
yes,
said, I
he
ain't
is,
going
but
back
that's
and forth,
not.
bro. We have to see these
That's
things. I know what you're saying as resume, but I would say definitely will prove my it's not even an opinion because the fact is he has more skills than Virgil is when they fight. He would definitely outclass Virgil.
so what you're saying is he looks good against people that don't have a chance, but then we don't really know how good he is yet because he hasn't fought anybody. Like
No,
I
I'm saying
like
he has the skills, but like you say, based off your logic, he has to fight somebody. If he fights Virgil, it will be proven like at the end of the day he has the better skills because based off your logic, your definition, you got to fight someone to show that, which is not always the case. I mean, skills are skills at the end of the day. You either have them or you don't. You just don't
but
develop
but you
it
but
fighting
you
a world beater.
but you just said that
I ain't.
Boots has more skills than Virgil,
Yeah, he
right?
does.
Right.
He
Okay.
does.
So does Boots have better feet than Virgil?
Yes. What? I mean, what? Or
So
what are we
so
talking about right now?
so in what fight can you show me where Boots was
We're pivoting.
pivoting and shifting in the pocket, right? Changing angles, getting off floor combination.
He did it against Sergio Lipinets, the Alvarez guy, Armando Alvarez. He did it against who else? I'm trying to think. Yeah, them two fights for sure. Virgil never done this,
He
but like again,
hold on. Virgil, okay. I don't know if you actually watch his fights or not, right? So in the
and if
pocket,
he only done
in
it
the
in one fight, but he hasn't done it as
bro, you
much
got
as
it.
Ennis.
You notice when you talk, I shut up.
But yeah, but at the
I'm
end of
not
the day,
telling you
he
you gotta
definitely
shut up,
does.
but it's a respect thing though. I'm just
No,
saying,
no, bro. At the end
like
of
you
the
keep
day, he
cutting me
does not
off.
have better. This dude
But what
does
did I
not.
got to do with
You're not
you?
gonna tell me that,
What
bro.
did I got to do with you?
I
Keep cutting me
seen, I
off though.
seen.
But what
Like I
did I got to
said,
do with you?
he
But
literally
what did
pivots
I have?
way more than Virgil.
What does that
Virgil
have to do with you
pivot against
routinely
one
cutting me
fighter. You're
off
talking
though?
about
What does
in
that
the
routinely have to
Vasquez.
do? What does that
If that's
routinely
what
have
you're
to do
trying to
with me
bring
you
up,
cut me off though?
why he didn't
You
pivot
can't
against?
have an
He
answer
let
to
a
something when
dude.
you don't even have a
He let the
question yet.
guy.
That's just
What was the
emotion.
guy he fought? Turn him all night. The guy he had fought, the McKinson. He should have been pivoting him. He let him turn him all night.
Didn't that just happen to Boots?
No, no, he didn't get turned. He wasn't cutting off the
happened to Boots.
ring.
So Boots couldn't
He
even
didn't
cut
get
the ring
turned.
off.
That's it. But he wasn't.
So that's a basic. So that's a
But
basic
Karen
skill,
wasn't
right?
turning.
That's a basic.
Karen wasn't turning.
Is that
Ennis,
a yes or no? Is that a basic skill?
bro.
Have you
Oh
boxed
yes,
before?
yes. That's
That's the
yeah.
first thing.
Yeah,
That's
you're
one of
right.
the first thing I learned
That's
when I used to box,
cutting
right?
off the ring.
So right. So if Virgil cuts the ring off than Boots, that would mean that Virgil is more skilled to cut the ring off. That's a skill that Virgil excels over Boots.
No, we can't say that because at the end of the day, I mean, who was he fighting? Who was he cutting off the ring off against? People who barely move. He didn't cut off the ring against McKinson.
All right. So then,
I mean, it's a fact. He didn't cut off the ring against McKinson.
even if you have examples, or even if you have something that you don't answer yes or no, you don't answer questions, you cut off. So there's no
I
point
look
in
at
going back and
reality, bro.
forth
I
with
look
you,
at
man.
what we can see, not that.
But talking about the other fight with Rashidi Ellis,
And then, like I
I
say,
think Rashidi Ellis,
yeah, go ahead.
he should have. He's another one. I feel like too big for 147. I feel like that plays a factor when fighters fit. If you're training all the time, so either you need a new training staff or you're too big for the weights. Because if you're in the gym all the time, like everybody claims they are, if you're in the gym all the time, there's no reason for you to be gassing out after 12 rounds, right?
I agree.
After 6 rounds, right? So Rashidi Ellis to me looked his usual self the first 6 rounds. But this is why that's another example too of when you're telling me about skills. I think we can sometimes confuse athleticism with skills. He's very athletic, but Rashidi Ellis only has one gear.
No, I'm
He's
not.
not his feet.
I'm not saying it too.
His feet aren't. He doesn't have great feet, and people confuse because you can move around the ring well. You have great feet. You can have slow feet and have great feet. That's your fundamentals. That's pivoting. That's a quarter step. That's a half step. That's being able to, like you're saying, turn an opponent. Just
Right.
because you move around the ring well doesn't mean you have great feet. That could just mean you're very athletic or you have fast feet. Fast feet doesn't mean great feet. So Rashidi Ellis needs to go back to the drawing board to me. I think that's a fight he can win if he can do two in a rematch. If the guys say he want to give him a rematch, if he fixes gas tank, one. But if he can't, he might run into the same trouble. But then two, learning how to shift, learning how to pivot. You gotta have moments in there. You might have to pull a Andre where you get your shots off, tie him up, make the ref reset, make it boring, whatever you got to do. But it's a fight that he can win if he comes with the great right game plan. And then with the final fight, I think it's the same thing I've been saying about Tank. He can be outboxed. Tank does have good skills. I don't want to give him the excuse of the outside distractions because everybody got to fight their fights. Everybody got their own things going on in their life. So I think he's always dangerous for 12 rounds. I saw him actually losing the fight. I think the same thing. I think that he would catch Haney late still. That hasn't changed for me. I think he's gonna blast Ryan Garcia out of there. If Ryan hasn't fixed any defensive deficiencies, which isn't likely. And I still think Lomachenko will give him trouble until he catches Loma. Same thing. Nothing in that fight changed my mind last night. I still think Tank is Tank. And he's a PBC fighter, which means he isn't going to develop like he should because he fights once or twice a year. In that he probably needs a new team as well. But shit, you can say that about most of the fighters.
So you saying you think Tank would knock out Devin Haney and Lomachenko?
Late. If Tank beats them, he beats them late. I think when you watch Devin, if it's gonna be at 135, we watch Devin gas as well and typically slow down. That's when Tank would be. Tank is dangerous 12. It ain't just he not one of them fighters. He just punches hard early. He's dangerous for 12, right? So Haney should be able to get the better of the exchanges in terms of outboxing them, tying them up, standing on the outside. But as soon as Tank not a scrub. That's why everybody frustrated with Tank. It's not that Tank don't got the talent. Tank's a scrub. It's that Tank doing everything else but focusing on boxing. You could argue he arguably has more talent than Devin Haney. I guess if you look to factor in the power,
he has more tools in the bag. But
right.
But here's my question though: why isn't he trying to fight Devin Haney?
Man, so I always say he was ducking. People you say, well, Floyd and was keeping him back. We about to find out because then now it isn't as many excuses. Devin Haney is now. If I'm Devin Haney, I stay with the fight by fight deals. I think after this fight against Lomachenko is dealing me up and just keep negotiating that way. More than likely he had to come over, unfortunately, to the Showtime side to get that fight. But if it happens, I think I give Devin Haney the respect because he's the actual undisputed champion. So I give him 55-45. But I wouldn't bet nothing on it though. I just watch him. I watch him slow down the second half of fights. I've watched him get punched by lesser punchers and not react well. And I definitely believe that 135 is killing him. To be fair. So if we factor all that in, I do think that Tank has a legit shot to stop him late. Honestly, with Lomachenko, I just think Lomachenko. People. This is why I don't get the Lomachenko hate. People forget Lomachenko is a 126 pounder, legit. Like he shouldn't be fighting at 135 at all, right? And then also, I respect the sport. I look at Bernard and Floyd and Pacquiao. They're the exceptions. They're not the rule. What Lomachenko 35 now, 34, 35, something like that.
Yeah.
I think that he's no longer in his prime. Same thing with which is my argument with Andre too. I just don't think he's in his prime anymore. That's all. I think Lomachenko not in his prime no more. I think if it's a perfect time for Tank to catch him or Devin to catch him or anybody to beat him, I think it's now. Lomachenko, what he been out of the ring for a year too. Like you don't get everybody doesn't get to just skip the how boxing works. You have to stay active. You got to stay sharp. You got to stay in shape. You have to do those things to be at your best. You don't walk into a Devin Haney fight after a year out and you're not in your prime anymore and just assume that you're gonna walk through them. Like I don't, or Tank in this case.
Well, Loma did had a fight.
Had a fight. What was it? Ortiz, right?
Jermaine Ortiz.
Right, but in the past 2 years, how many fights? That's what I'm saying. Yeah, activity level. I think that for all fighters,
for sure.
Yeah, you got to be fighting. So if you're not fighting, and then you're aging as well, you don't get to stay at the same level you were at. Everybody drops off. I believe that it's always the exceptions to the rule, but everybody ain't B-Hop. Everybody ain't Floyd. Everybody ain't Pacquiao. So for everybody else, like I even look at Bud and go, Bud is still elite, but Bud's not as good as he was 3 years ago. Because he's a little slower. His reaction times looks a little slower. Like it's just a natural thing. It's just if we're comparing him to the rest of the welterweight division, he was higher than most everybody, probably except Spence, right? If that was a fight by 50-50. So him coming down looks a little different than if Keith Thurman's coming down. Or Keith Thurman looked like anybody beat him. Now Bud probably still can beat 99, if not everybody in the welterweight division. That doesn't mean he didn't lose anything. Same thing with Andre, same thing with Lomachenko. Don't mean I ain't lose anything. It just means y'all were that y'all seem to have been that good that y'all could still beat most of the people that y'all dealing with.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess it depends on what you think he done better than he did 3 years ago. What did he do better than he not doing did that he's not doing now?
It could be the reaction time, but I mean, it could. Yeah, to me, it's how he's responding, how the shots are rolling off. So Crawford, you trade things. I think he's more filled out at the weight. I do think he legit wants to move up to fight Jermell Charlo at 154, which means he's putting on more muscle, right, to become stronger, more durable. But you're losing your speed. I always thought his biggest advantages over Spence would be the fact that he has better feet than Spence, whether it's using it to move around the ring laterally, change directions, or even in the pocket where he can shift. But fighting Spence early on is when Spence is going to be dangerous. And then when Spence catches that second win, if you allow him to, a lot of opponents allow Spence to catch that second win where he's able to start up in the tempo. If Bud is going to, I think Bud would stop Spence if he's able to hit him with a shot he doesn't see or
Yeah.
counter a shot. The problem with that is that the longer they take to make the fight, the older he gets.
I don't think it's gonna make a difference, and I know what you're trying to say. I don't think it make a difference. I don't think Crawford really changed much. I mean, honestly,
how you gonna ask me a question and then cut me off and answer?
bro, the point you're trying to make is that you think he's gonna lose.
What did I got to do with you cutting me off though?
But what was your point? You just said that at the end of the day that over time he's going to pretty much slow down.
You cutting me off though?
Bro, I understand because I already knew what you were about to end with.
But what does that have to do with you cutting what?
Bro, you were going to end with.
But once again, that comes to a respect thing. I don't even like talking to you like this because we over the internet. There's nothing we can do about it in all actuality. But why would you? If when you talk, I let
you talk for the whole time. What do you mean?
But you. If you play back this video, it ain't gonna be nothing you cutting me off and answering for.
I know,
or telling me what you think, and I'm not asking you your opinion most of the time. I was asking for facts, and you giving me opinions.
And I'm not giving you opinions. You're believing it's a fact, but it's not. I mean, opinion, but it's not. Look it up, bro.
Right. So you earlier, the definition of what you said skill is not the definition of skill.
It is the definition of skill.
Whether you're using it as a verb or a noun. It's not.
I could go show you the etymology of skill. That's definitely what it means.
Not in the English dictionary. Not in the country.
Yeah, it is. It's the English etymology. Yes.
So go ahead and post it. And
I can post you. That's right? Not hard, bro.
So anyways though, but
go to etymology. All you gotta do look up skills etymology.
He looks like he's slowing down. And so to me, because he looks like he's slowing down somewhat. And again, if you ask me to bet, I'm still gonna take Bud over Spence in this context. But I think he's slowing down. So the longer it takes to make the fight, which I've been telling you, Bo, by the way, wasn't gonna happen. More I was telling King David wasn't gonna happen, but the fight that's not gonna happen is supposedly gonna happen. I always thought that if Bud can't catch him in between punches, Spence will outwork him. And I still think that's a possibility, but it's gonna be more in Spence's favor the longer it takes to make the fight that's allegedly gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. And I still think, listen, we disagree. I still think if Bud can't find a way to stay away from Mel Power, I do think Mel gonna knock him out. What's good, David? King David?
Yeah. So, King David, salute. See, he's in the chat. I'm not sure if he's still there or not, but I dropped the link just in case you want to hop on, King David.
Do you think that if the trend stays the same and Haney fades late, that you don't think the Tank can catch him?
I mean, it's always a possibility that he could catch Devin Haney, but I also think there's a reason why he still hasn't made the fight with Devin Haney or try to fight Devin Haney. And to me, it just seemed like it's the same reason why Canelo ain't try to fight Demetrius Andrade. I just think it's high risk for him. Like I think Devin Haney will make Tank look a little bit bad. Not saying that Devin Haney beats Tank, but I just think Devin Haney makes Tank look bad because Devin Haney got a great jab. That's one thing I could give it to him. You know, he has a great jab, and that's going to frustrate Tank Davis. Tank Davis literally have to try to walk through Devin Haney just to get the knockout. But
Yeah, he gonna have to go to the body too.
yeah, and to me, I just think throughout there are fights that I wanted to see Tank in. Like he to me, he should have fought Gary Russell, Tevin Farmer, and Lomachenko, and it just seemed like those fights never materialized, and it seemed like it's more on the fault of the Tank Davis side of things. Now, I
No,
mean,
yeah, I
people
can
could
see what
say,
you're
Floyd kept him away, and that's cool, but Tank, he's a grown man. He should have been like, yo, I want those fights.
Right.
It seemed like Tank is how Adrian. So the way Adrian Broner's contract is, or like a Danny Jacobs contract was. I'm trying to think of another example of a more high profile fighter. They signed deals with um Al Heyman before almost like the 360 type deals were being offered. I don't think Tank has the ability to just leave the same way that Adrian Broner does. It don't seem like it based off of trying to think. I can't say his name, so I think we talked about it before. I met somebody through being in another channel. He works a lot of he's from the UK. He works a lot of Eddie Hearn fights. He has worked some of the Al Heyman fights. If you Google Al Heyman being sued, I'm trying to think of the exact things so you guys look it up for yourself. But one of the old contracts is actually up. Like you can find it. And if you go through that contract, it's basically a 360 deal. Those contracts though were that wasn't something that Danny Jacobs signed. That wasn't something that Adrian Broner signed. It's implied that it's something like what Jamal's on, which is why Jamal can't just get up and go fight Andre in the zone for $7 million. He got to turn it down and go fight. I think it was Montiel or somebody
No,
he
exactly.
does Andre with. So I don't think Tank has that ability to go just make them fights. It's gonna be this. He left Floyd, but he didn't leave the problem. The problem ain't
Right, right.
Floyd. The problem is Al Heyman essentially. So he still ain't
No,
gonna get
no,
them
true.
fights.
Yeah.
Do
No, I
you
agree,
see him?
man.
Do you see him actually get in the fight with Ryan Garcia?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, I believe.
So,
Well,
so that fight's
yeah,
gonna happen.
I think so.
yeah, I think that's definitely yeah. I mean, they said the date and everything. I don't know if it's going to happen on that date, but so
And it's a fight that he should win.
yeah,
PBC like things and that seem to be in their favor. So, it is a fight that he should be able to beat Ryan if we basing off how Ryan's looked in the past. But I mean, you never know. I think man, I ain't gonna say it's a cherry pick. Same thing. I feel like we talked about it before. Bo, you might disagree with me. I said if Canelo would have fought Charlo Jamal, that was a cherry pick to me. Because
Oh,
at this
you
point,
you saying like after that Montiel fight, you think that would have been a cherry pick
he's
because
a
of that
cherry pick.
performance?
Because now because how we view him currently, he not active. He fighting more, with his issues at home than he is in the ring. So he ain't even he hasn't actually been looking good in the boxing ring. He hasn't looked good since when his first defense on the Adrian Broner undercard way back in what was that 2019, 2020? If you
Oh,
think about it,
you going way back.
yeah.
Jamal Charlo's stock ain't really been up. I mean, he beat Deverenchenko, but if we keeping the energy the same, Deverenchenko, who got beat by Jacobs, got beat by he had that war with Triple G. So you beat a fighter that was coming off of a loss that hadn't fought in a year.
But I
So
thought he actually beat Triple G though.
I thought Deverenchenko beat him too, but even still, he fought a fighter that came off a war off of a year off layoff. That's in his mid-30s. If that's your best win at middleweight, then what are we talking about? For real, I mean for real. So I think that would have been a cherry if he'd have fought Jamal, because Jamal don't look good. Mel's looked a lot better than Jamal's look in recent time, at least. And Ryan Garcia would probably be viewed as if Bo, if I'm coming to if you Tank manager and I'm coming to you and I'm going, all right, we can offer you the Garcia fight, we can offer you the Lomachenko fight, we can offer you the Haney fight, we can offer you the Shakur fight for all the same money, and you pick Ryan, the fans gonna go, well, that's the easiest fight to take, and you don't get a belt. So it looked like you cherry picking them.
It is a cherry pick, but at the same time, who has the more casual fans. That's they're gonna make that fight even a bigger fight because Ryan Garcia has a lot of casual fans and a lot of Instagram followers and whatnot.
And that's and see this now, Bo. Usually, I agree with everything you say. I'm about to have to be at you about this now. Now, if you're gonna take that logic, when if the Ryan Garcia is the bigger cash fight, so then how can you say some people have dug Andre when Andre don't got no fans?
No. I'm not disagreeing. What I'm saying is from I just said it is a cherry pick. So
Oh, my bad. I didn't hear that. I'm sorry.
yeah, it is a cherry pick. But what I'm saying from what I'm saying, the casual and the business side of things, they're gonna pump up that fight more because it's gonna attract more attention. Now, I mean, let's just be honest. If he fight Devin Haney, right, that fight is nowhere near. It's not gonna be anywhere near bigger than him fighting Ryan Garcia because Ryan Garcia has the fan base.
That's a fact.
And same with the other fighters. Even somebody like Loma, he's not gonna. It'll be a bigger fight. I think Loma will be the next bigger fight from a fan base standpoint. But as far as from a skill standpoint, like where's though, it's a 50-50. I mean, that's Shakur Stevenson. That's it right there. And personally, I got Shakur beating Tank.
Oh, I'm about to say you think higher Tank than I do. I don't think that's 50-50.
No, I'm saying like people will say it's a
Shakur.
50-50 because of the star power that Tank
Oh
has.
yeah, okay, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I have Shakur beating Tank easy, like really easy. I
Me
mean,
too.
but Tank can always catch somebody with a shot, so you never know.
And see, you're right, because anybody can be knocked out. But that's the difference between Devin and a Shakur to me. Devin gives you more opportunity because of his style of fighting. So if you could time him catching in, that's really the only time if you think about Devin gets caught in exchanges when he's coming in behind that jab to follow with a right hand or something like that. It's usually you time him coming in, which is what I think Tank would try to do. Man, Shakur don't even give you a chance to really even time him coming in. Like his defense is so solid, man. It's crazy. Like I think I got that like 70-30. That's how much faith I got in Shakur.
Yeah,
I bet on that.
Yeah. I just think Shakur schools him, and I think there's a reason why Tank he's not getting in the ring with Shakur anytime soon. I mean, they're gonna say, yeah, he fights for top rank and all the other stuff, but at the end of the day, we already know. I mean, top rank and PBC done plenty of fights together, but they're gonna use that other side of the street when it comes to Shakur because they know Shakur is really that good.
Yeah, man, for sure.
The only young fighter that I see that even look like is in his class is ironically on the same side. That's Keyshawn.
Keyshawn, yeah, but Keyshawn's still a prospect though.
Yep. Keyshawn remind me of Bud a little bit, man. He got a little Bud in him.
No, for sure.
That meanness.
Yeah.
He kind of he don't make it as easy and just box. I mean, it still look easy for him, but he like to get in there and mix it up. He's trying to get you up out of there, hurt you too. I like Keyshawn. Do you think in a couple how many fights do you think Keyshawn Davis is away from being ready for a Tank fight or a Devin fight or?
I said give him a couple of fights. I think he's ready for him right now. As far as him winning right now, I don't know. I just think he needs a little bit more experience. He has the talent to do it, but I just think he needs to get a couple of fights in.
I say
him on that level.
Yeah. I say for me, I think he should need to fight 3 more solid fighters that's at least ranked, and he'd be ready.
What would y'all say is a good barometer fight for him? Who would you like to see him in as the former champion or highly ranked or?
Yeah. Either or former or I say former champion. I say for sure former champion, but trying to see who's a former champion in that division though, other than like I can't even think of something. And Lomo.
Nah, he ain't ready for Loma fight yet. But
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I can't think of another former champion in that division.
So Bo, because it sounded like you got Haney beating Loma in that fight.
No, actually, I have that a 50-50 fight.
You got a 50-50?
I got a 50-50. I think I know Loma catch a lot of hell from like a lot of YouTube channels and stuff. I still think Loma is the goods. But I do think Devin Haney height and reach is going to bother him. And but I think once you get on the inside, I think that will be to Loma advantage. So I honestly I don't know who will win that fight. I just hope whoever wins that fight,
Uh,
the loser don't come with like a whole bunch of excuses. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to hear Loma was too old, and I
yeah,
don't want to hear that Devin Haney was too weak.
yeah, I got Devin
What
in
you
that
mean
fight.
you mean like from making weight?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, you already named it though. You know all the fake pro black channels gonna say, well, Haney was Bob Arum conspiracy, and Haney was staying at the weight too. You already know all that stuff going. You know on the other side, Loma Chinkle fans, well, he old and Haney, man, you already know how that's gonna go. People don't ever want you to get credit. That's why I also don't like too when we I'm coming to you, boy. When I'm asking you a question, I'm coming to you because I know you don't think like the casuals, you don't think like the Canelo fans, you don't think like this group of fans. You got a pretty fair boxing mind. That's why I don't even pay attention to 90% of the so-called boxing media because everybody already got their mind made up before you ask them the question anyway. There ain't even no point. Just like one of y'all said earlier, if a certain fighter beats a fighter at a certain time, they just gonna move on to. They just move the goalposts. Oh, he wasn't. Or you said earlier, Yanni Beck ain't nobody, so it don't matter. So when you talk to people like that, ain't no point in having the conversation anyway. You know they don't really know boxing. They ain't paying attention to it anyway though. But who do you think? If you don't mind me asking, who do y'all want to see? Obviously, Boots not gonna get the fight. Spencer Crawford. They probably not gonna fight him. So who would y'all want to see him in with next?
Who Boots?
Yeah.
I'll tell you what,
Uh,
if Rashidi and that Vila dude don't do the rematch, I'd like to see him in with Vila.
yeah, I about to say. I don't know if you see your comments, man. Tony said that too. Yeah, I said Rashidi or man, maybe even Virgil because Stanionis put out that fight like I had seen yesterday. So maybe if he can get Virgil, but nah, that probably wouldn't make sense because well, no, I mean, yeah, if he can get a Virgil fight, him. I mean,
But Virgil was already talking about he'll fight him, but both of them got to be at the top or something for like.
yeah, he did say that, I believe. Well, yeah, I would say in Rashidi. I'm trying to think. Who else will be? I know if Keith ain't, I would say Keith possibly too. If he could get that.
But Keith ain't gonna fight him.
I mean, I don't know. Like I said, I personally believe Arrow and Crawford I think will fight this year. So I don't know. I have to see. So yeah, one of those two. Not nobody that will be like he said himself. That will be behind him. Somebody that's either got to be a top name opponent or.
Or what about
Mhm.
Butayev? That'd be a good measuring stick for
Yeah, I heard people say that Butayev, but I think he'd stop Butayev. I mean,
You think so?
no, for sure. Yeah, I think so. But I mean, if you look at the Stanionis fight, yeah, that dude, yeah, he take
Butayev would
a
be the best fighter he fought though.
yeah. You know what? What will he?
Yeah.
No,
He ain't
yeah,
fought
yeah.
nobody. It
No,
ain't hard. He
I
ain't fought
agree.
nobody.
No, I agree. Yeah, it probably would be. I just like you said, which is true. Hey yo, whatever your name is, yeah, he definitely gotta show it. But I think he'd definitely get him out there. But yeah, that will actually be a fight to see because will be a dude his best fight and a highly ranked opponent still because he was top 4 still.
And that's why those fights are important. That's why I'm saying when we first talking about it. That's
No,
why I
I
like the
understand what you're
fight
saying.
yesterday with Karen. Because
Right,
even though I thought Boots won every round pretty much. But
right.
I watched Boots get hit with punches he shouldn't be getting with. I watched him struggle to cut off the ring with. I'd rather him go through these fights now and get the developmental fights he's supposed to be getting. Because you can't be trying to figure out on the fly how to do that against Spence. That's not gonna work. You can't do
Right.
that. You can't do that against Bud. So if everybody telling me, well, Boots looks like this, but I'm watching you struggle with guys who we would all view to be lesser, where he needs those fights in between. That's why a Boots IF fight would be perfect.
Yeah.
If he
So
gives
yeah,
Stanley on his fight, Stanley on his brings
I can agree
pressure.
with that all the way.
Yeah, so
I
them
mean,
fights
no,
important.
that's facts. No, that's fact. Because at the end of the day, he's not gonna. I don't see him. Oh yeah, man, I want to fight Ennis. I mean, he gonna still say that politically, like, yeah, I want. I mean, my bad. Arrow. He gonna say that politically. I want Arrow. But at the end of the day, I think he know. Yeah, he like you just said. That's 100%. Fighting somebody like a Butai is fighting somebody that's gonna prepare you, because he know damn sure. Like, if y'all seen the presser, he definitely looked like, yeah, man, I gotta work on some stuff. Even though I think it's not that. I think you said it earlier. Hey yo, I think it pretty much. I think he just got to start using having a plan. Like I say, having the skill and the ability to, okay, if you know this is what he like to do, take it away from him. But this is his fault, because he said himself he doesn't study film, which I don't see what's so cool about not watching film. You should be watching film. So yeah,
That's
definitely.
just arrogance though. That's
Yeah,
just
I know.
people.
I
Yeah,
think they
people
just say
thinking
that
that.
too. That's another thing I think they say for trending and whatever. But I just, yeah, you that people I think it's just kind of some stuff like you should, it just look casual, like what people say people run and like it's certain things I'm like, okay, how can you be a boxer? How can you be somebody that's highly respected? You say these things like casuals, like I don't get that. Right.
It's pretty much no such thing as run. If somebody is
No, I'm just saying,
losing
like, to the
movement,
point, like you
it's
said,
your
it's
job to
like
cut it off. That's how I look at it.
no, fact, that's same here, you know, same here, shit.
But looking at Tony Review's comment, I always disagree with that. Just because if you hit me with 10 punches, but I hit you with 5,
Right.
I cut your face and I punched you across the ring with one of the punches. Like if I did more damage, you got to understand how judges looking at it. They looking at it like, what's the more eye catching shots? What when somebody's getting punched, are they wincing at a shot? They're gonna look at who looks like
No,
they're
I
controlling the
agree.
fight.
And in reality,
Punches
like
that.
you said,
Yeah.
yeah, if you're getting hit, say okay, you landed 4 or 5 punches and I'm stunned, but um the punches he landed on me, the 5 punches, I'm cutting all that. In reality, I mean, I'm out of there. I'm bleeding out. I'm going through I'm going through some adversity while you're just stunned, whatever, so yeah.
And I disagree too. That's what I'm saying about. I think talking about Rashidi would be Boots. You can't. It's no triangle theories in boxing. That don't work. And then 2, Rashidi doesn't have good feet to me. And I said that before, and people was at me and laughing about it. I'm like, just because somebody can move, don't confuse that with good feet. Somebody cannot have as much lateral movement, but sit in the pocket and have better feet because they can shift and move and get out of the way of punches and position for counters. There's different types of. But boxing isn't just one thing. And I think people confuse that sometimes. Rashidi Ellis also. Boots is what? Boots, I think, about 5'10", 5'11". He's a big welterweight. And Vila's, if Rashidi supposedly, either Rashidi not 5'9" or Vila not 5'10". Because when you saw them standing in the ring, Vila looked every bit of 6 feet. So he also was fighting a much bigger man last night too. I'm sure that played a factor as well, especially later on in the fight.
No, yeah.
And Boots is a more dynamic puncher, if nothing else. So if Vila's able to just time him and counter him, I don't know what you think would happen if Boots was fighting Rashidi. That's the Tony Reviews.
Yeah, I thought Vila was when he did landed on Rashidi, he was hurting him.
Yeah, Rashidi was jabbing. Rashidi got a real good jab.
Yeah,
But Rashidi also he could see, and this is why I don't know if he's that he can't. I wouldn't say he can't punch. 'Cause I watched him do damage to a couple of guys he fought, but he didn't have enough power for Vila last night. So if you can't keep a guy off you, that's typically what happens. We know how that goes. That script goes in boxing. If you can't keep a guy off you, eventually once you start to slow down, he's gonna catch up to you. And now we gotta hope you can hold up to his power. And then 2,
Not for real.
Rashidi might need to move up too. Man, I think we underestimate. I think that's Spence' problem too, by the way. Why he isn't quite looking the same. Besides the outside activities, Spence is big. Spence started at 54. He started as a junior middleweight. He had to squeeze his way down to 147. So you can only get away with killing yourself for so long. So
For real.
Rashidi 29. He ain't 23, 24. And I'm sure that's why Boots is trying to hurry up and get his title shot too. Because I don't even see how he making 147. Not healthy. His
Right.
weight
Then
class is for a reason.
yeah. Then he made it at 140 because due to the IBF, I think you can't be over like 10 pounds or some crazy stipulation. So he came in at 145. I mean, Jesus, like
Oh yeah, that's a fact. You're right.
that's
IBF do got that. Yep.
he's not gonna be able to do that no longer, for sure.
Do you feel like Boots is ducking in a way when he called out Crawford?
Boots called. I don't remember him calling out Crawford.
You mean Boots ducking Crawford? Cause you say anyway.
Oh, my bad. I said anyway. Anyway.
Yeah,
Yeah.
my
I feel like
personal
Boots
opinion.
is. Yeah, I
But
feel
I
like
mean,
Boots is ducking Crawford.
yeah, not yeah. In my personal opinion, yeah. But you can also look at it, and you can go see for yourself. He never petitioned for the WBO, so him saying one thing and doing another. I mean, yeah, he's clearly avoiding Crawford at the moment. I mean,
Yeah, I feel like that's like in the PBC handbook. You gotta call off fighters. You know y'all ain't about to fight just to make it seem like you want. Because if you're not petitioning, and
right.
then
He only
if
petitioned for the
Errol
IBF.
can't get the fight, right? If Errol can't get the fight, if they can't make a fight with Errol, where at least it's worth it to some extent.
I'm about to
Damn sure not about to let Bud pick off one of the young prospects for nothing.
yeah. Now I'm about to say like because he's not exactly signed with Al. I mean, they could did a Black Prime thing and him and if he would have petitioned for the WO, they could have been fighting on Black Prime. He would have got crazy money. But I don't
Right.
know. I don't know though, because I don't know if Cameron Duncan, his manager, would allow him to do that.
But I mean, like all these fighters said that they own boss, though. You know.
Well, we know that's a
no,
lie.
that's true. No, that's not. No, I said the only people honestly that can say that is like a Canelo. Right now you can say Bud, and that's probably. I mean, who else?
Joshua,
yeah, Joshua Wilder.
Nah, I don't
Fury.
know about
Nah,
Wilder.
Wilder's
You
not.
don't
his
think
own
Wilder
boss
can?
either.
Nah, Wilder a whole different conversation, man.
Mm.
Wilder, see, in Bo, this is why we was arguing. When I'm telling y'all, Wilder been ducking all these years. You ain't gonna know he wasn't. It was Joshua Hearn. You just watched Wilder and them use Joshua name again, right? Saying, "Yep,
I never deny that. You know,
Oh, okay.
I ain't gonna say he was ducking Joshua, but I will say this. I just don't like when people blame Joshua for the fight not happening when Joshua also sent offers to Deontay Wilder. But even if Deontay Wilder and Joshua want to fight each other, the PBC to me would just seem like they were just in the way.
Oh, him. And what's crazy is how do you have the best interest for your fighter and you having them? If me and my fighter got a chance to make $100+ million for 3 fights, you telling me going to fight what was his name, Luis Ortiz for what was the highest price at the time? Was it 6 million, 10 million, something like that?
Yeah, I think 10 or something. Yeah.
Right. That's better for my client. Like, man, that junk used to be crazy. Listen to people talk about that, especially when Wilder said himself that he didn't accept the contract. The contract was sent. He seen it, confirmed it, and turned it down. People are still saying Joshua was ducking. So Joshua, if anything, he should be the one moving like Wilder. He got more to lose. He the one to bring the money to the fight. Honestly, got all the sponsors. So I always thought that was just backwards. Like, he could fight anybody, and whoever he fight gonna get the highest career payday, even with the losses. So it's just a weird thing. I know it ain't on topic. What y'all think about the Usyk Fury? Who y'all got in that fight?
No, that's a good question. I'm a pull for well no, I'm gonna just say I think I got Usyk, man, because Usyk got better feet to me than Fury does. I think he gonna attack that body, but we have to see. But I just think the movement is gonna be kind of difficult, and being that he's a shorter fighter, which Fury kind of struggles with, I just did see Usyk giving him a lot and coming out with the win. That's how I see it.
I don't know because I can see a case for both fighters. I just think Tyson Fury, if he could use that big ass body and
Right.
just lean all over Usyk to tire
He
him
can
out.
for sure.
And then I could also see what you said about Usyk outboxing the mess out of Tyson Fury. But this fight will be interesting. I'm wondering if the fight is actually going to happen or not.
Yeah, that's a good question too.
What make you say that?
Well, I mean, business, man. I mean, Fury kind of wishy-washy,
Yeah.
Shit,
like
kind
1
of.
minute. It depends. Like, but I mean, I hope it happened. I mean, I ain't gonna lie, Usyk gonna make history, man. He gonna be I'd definitely say he's arguably pound for pound number one if he beats Usyk. I mean, Fury and be 2-time undisputed. And the people who he fighting, he ain't just fighting anybody. Like, he came up, fought Joshua, and he fought Fury. I don't remember some of the dudes he fought at cruiserweight because I haven't really watched his career at cruiserweight. But yeah, man, I mean, he got a good case of being the best fighter right now. Especially if you do that, beat Fury.
Now here's my thing. Did that Deontay Wilder and Anthony Ruiz fight? Did that just fall through? Like, is that fight not happening now?
I heard that they said.
Oh, go ahead. My bad.
No. I was going to say this was like yesterday. I seen that they said it was agreed upon, but I don't know as of right now. But
yeah, I saw a message from Andy Ruiz saying that looked like Deontay Wilder decided to go elsewhere.
I heard the same thing. I heard the fight might not be happening. But see, this is what I was before I had to go stop with my daughter. Matter of fact, that was a point too when y'all was saying, well, if nothing was signed, but that's why I was trying to say it depends on who you believe, because I've heard trainers, I heard managers, I've heard fighters themselves say that the contract sometimes don't need to be signed to the fight night. So if you believe that what they telling the truth, what that would mean, and it would still be a duck then if a contract wasn't signed by that logic, if they're not signing the contracts until basically week of or day of the fight. But I also heard that's more of how the PBC handles their business, where more on Eddie Hearn them side, they do have everything signed, they do have everything done way before the fight. So I guess it depends on what network, what promotional company you're dealing with, how it goes in terms of the contracts. So it depends, I guess, where the fight's taking place, if they ducked or not. Because I thought that would be a little bit strange, but I heard Kenny Porter say it out of his mouth, Sean Porter said, Keith done said. So a bunch of fighters done said a lot of times the fight's not even officially signed until the week of the fight, which I think is weird, but that seems like bad business to me.
Yeah, well, like for example, when people talk about the Crawford era thing, they say Crawford sent multiple contracts. It's like technically, no, he was sent, if anything, a proposal. Then, if you would agree, both parties would have agreed, it would have been a contract. So that's how it really goes. I mean, before a fight is done, you have to propose a fight or something, and they have to look over it, agree. Then they have their certain terms, and then the person who sent over the proposal, if they agree with it or not, if there's all come to agreement, okay, there's a contract after that. If not, then there's no fight. So like when people say, "Oh, Crawford duck," is like, no, if he probably seen a proposal and rejected it because it didn't make no damn sense. And I would see that as a duck.
My bad.
No, you good.
Only people saying Crawford duck is people who are sexual, and everybody else using their sense. Errol himself saying that. Errol basically said what I was saying, that it was a bad deal. So if it's a bad deal, how could you blame somebody for not wanting to just sign anything, and then not being able to verify? So whenever, I'm sure y'all know this because y'all hire, of course. Whenever a fight is being put together, especially with a lot of money, the fight has to be in escrow. Basically meaning the fight's verified by this source that all the money's already there. So bug going where the money coming from, y'all can't show me. Nobody in their right mind gonna take a fight of that magnitude. You can't even show me where all this money coming from.
Yeah, I was about to ask. Yeah, I'm glad you just said that. So you think, like business wise, that made sense what Crawford did by asking for transparency? Or you think he shouldn't have to ask for it?
He should ask because he's his own boss now. See, before he'd had somebody else doing that for him. Well, if him and his team got to do everything else, well, I need to verify with the ring, gloves, date, venue. I need to know what's
No, I
what's
agree.
projected, all that.
Yeah,
Yeah, he
because
doing
I,
his due diligence.
the people like, he doesn't have to necessarily know that because, like, I don't know if y'all seen the Rachel Dornaire video take. It's like probably like a month now. She said like,
Oh, you talking about on the boxing voice?
no, she did one on, I think, on YSM, and YSM
Oh, okay.
he asked. I'm gonna try to summarize. So pretty much, he asked, "Do you think? What do you think about Crawford asked for transparency?" She said basically, in order for him to do that, for one, he would have to have like 10 million. And man, it's so you know what, bro? Y'all need to look
Yeah.
at that.
She came on a boxing voice a while ago
Uh-huh.
and said something similar,
Yeah,
and
what's
basically try to
crazy
say
though?
like Crawford doesn't
Mhm.
know business or some shit
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that,
yeah.
and
And
she knows more about business because she manages her husband and all that other stuff.
I'm like, come on now. But this is what the only thing though, and I don't know, this would be to you, Ayo, but I ain't trying to make a thing. I just try to look at like read between the lines. So the only thing I think she might have some truth when she said the $10 million he had to have, and then she said he had to have something else in order to see the books. So we know Crawford had just recently got his $10 million payday with Avanesian. And like I said, I did a video. This is my channel anyway. Y'all can check it out. I know you already said, but if you go, I broke down why I think the fight could possibly be this year and it'd be in April, May or something like that, because both fighters said they're coming back around that time. I think possibly that's why Crawford took that fight, got that money, because he probably had to actually have a certain amount of money to see the books. So now he's like, hey, I'm ready. Hey, come on, Errol, spin the block. Hey, I got that money now. Let's do it. And I think if the fight does happen, her point will actually kind of be proven, at least as far as on the transparency goes. But what she was trying to say, simply he doesn't know business, I'm like, nah, I can't agree with that. I just think he just want to be smart, like you said, AOB, like know what's going on and be able to see like, okay, where's this coming from, instead of like taking what they give you and they could be giving you fucking $300,000 if they want, like because you only get 35% net pay, so you only getting after everything is taxed. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, yeah.
I don't know if I necessarily. I heard her talk about it in a couple channels actually too. I just think that the fights. I just think no matter what, Al Heyman's finding a way for the fight not to happen. It don't matter.
No,
It don't.
I feel you.
Yeah, that's more what it got to do with. Just to backtrack a little bit. Boy, what you were saying before. Fury's also always struggled with any fighter that can move and had good feet. I think that Usyk might be the worst matchup for him. Joshua's a better matchup for Fury because obviously he don't have the feet that Usyk got. I think for Usyk, Joshua might have actually been a harder fight than the Fury might have been, just based off the styles. I think Fury a lot of what Fury does or has done in the past when he did the Klitschko. Wilder don't got much boxing skill, so it's not really that's different. But what he did with the Klitschko was predicated a lot on Klitschko being a slower fighter, more predictable. But if you look at his fight with Cunningham and even his first fight with Chisora, it's weird. He usually struggles with smaller fighters, and then especially if you can move, he doesn't look good. A lot of his advantages get taken away. But shit, I think if you going based off actual accomplishments, you could make argument Usyk is already pound for pound number one. I think the only fighter, if we just keeping it consistent with you having to be in the winning bracket, so Canelo automatically be out of that. It would have to be out of him and anyway to me right now who's number one. I think they both got.
But people were saying,
well, based off
doesn't have the best resume.
Not for sure, but what you were saying that based off you said accomplishments like what defenses?
Talking about with Usyk, him being number one.
Yeah, or even anyway, with Usyk.
Usyk to me because he beat Dorticos, he beat Gassiev. I know you're not as familiar with the.
No, I can
cruiserweights.
agree if you
So
go up. No, I just don't.
And he went on a roll. See, I factor the fact that he went on a road as well to win all his belts. So he ain't got no advantages. He ain't got no promoters giving him funny decisions. He ain't got none of that going on. He went and got his, as we would say, he got it out the mud. So he did everything and looked dominant. He ain't had no close fights. He ain't had no like with him is him and Inoue. You can say Crawford too, honestly. Their fights, you don't even dispute. Like nobody's saying, "Oh, he really lost." That like those three right there with everything they'd accomplished. They to me are head and shoulders, pretty much above everybody. But if I don't, to me personally, I think the Joshua win would be more impressive than the Fury win. Because then if I sit there and look at, if you just going based off Fury being undefeated, that's fine. But Fury literally, to me, only beat one great fighter, and that's Klitschko. Other than
No,
that,
I agree.
his resume just full of nothing.
Well, I
But
mean, yeah.
So you
I get
you don't think
Wilder.
that win against Wilder was a
No, well, for me,
good
I
win?
say yeah, but
I don't. But see, I don't rate. I don't rate Wilder because
No, I get it, but
Wilder didn't beat
Wilder got
nobody.
that deadly hand though. He got that deadly punch.
Wilder didn't beat no. Do you know Wilder only fought one champion besides Fury? Ain't that crazy to think about? He only beat one top 10 fighter before he had fought Ortiz for the second time. And then of course when he fights Fury, but when he fought Fury, Fury wasn't a top 10 fighter. So then he didn't even count the first time. So if you actually break down Wilder's resume, it's even more garbage than you are if you think it is. It's even actually more garbage if you actually waste your time to actually look at it. Like if you're doing an argument for him to be top 5 of his generation, right? And then we create a point system.
Mm-hmm.
He wouldn't even be in the conversation in reality, unless you just value the fact that he's just a champion. Because in his resume, he only beat 2 top 10 fighters or 3.
But this is the thing.
you said two top.
How's
Yeah.
Fury wasn't a top 10 when he was the
That's what I'm
actual
saying.
lineal
Like,
champion?
is there because I always try to look back, and I need to try to cut you off. I'm just, where do you see the rankings though? Because I've been trying to find a way where you could look up the rankings of fighters before they fought them.
What I do is I use, we got BoxRec, we got Ring, we got
but
ESPN, So what I'll do is, okay, if which is debatable, but if you choosing to believe that a lot of these people is experts, where is he ranked in all these different rank standings? You could do the math. So if he's 5 in this one, 3 in this one, 11 in this one, so he averages out to whatever. This is what he ranked, right? When he beat Stavern, the first time he beat Stavern was the champion, right?
Yeah.
He didn't knock Stavern out. He beat him on decision. When he rematched Stavern wasn't even in the top 10. So he actually had never at that point knocked anybody out in the top 10 before until he knocked out Luis Ortiz. And I don't think that's what I'm saying. I don't think people actually realize if you actually take time to break down his resume, it's actually more trash than it already seems. Like him beating him, and then he never beat Fury. So then you can't even count it. I mean, unless you're giving people participation awards. He didn't beat Fury anytime. So the only person he actually knocked out in the top 10 was Luis Ortiz. So when you talk about his power, if we rating it, well, how do we know?
Well, I know he beat Areola.
He didn't knock anybody out that we would consider noteworthy. He
Yeah,
didn't
I know
knock any champion out. He never knocked the champion out.
Yeah, was Areola in the top?
Yeah, he was a champion. Chris Areola was a champion
when Wilder faced him.
Yeah.
No, he wasn't a champion.
He wasn't.
He was
that's
a former champion, right?
But that's what I'm saying.
I know he
was
either former.
I don't think he ever won a belt.
Hold on, I'm looking up right.
I know he challenged for some belts. I don't remember when Chris Areola won.
I thought Chris Areola either. Let me see something. Okay, I think they fought for a vacant belt. Then that's how he got. Let me see.
Wilder won it from Stavern, and he had the belt ever since.
Yeah. I listen to what you're saying, but I missed it.
Usyk beating Fury, I think it's more impressive he beat Joshua because I had somebody explain to me one day. If you look at Joshua's resume, he fought the toughest competition in the past 7-8 years out of any heavyweight. Wilder and Fury just fought each other, and then everybody else is either trying to get a Wilder or trying to get a Joshua payday, which is also why he's able to get the fights. But he beat more top 10 fighters consistently than anybody else in the division, which is also weird. You have people say they want to see fighters fight the best. Well, when Joshua fighting everybody else that would be considered the best in the division consistently, he didn't have any tune-ups and easy fights and like the other two. So
right.
That actually does more for Usyk's resume than beating Fury would. When the only person Fury beat was Klitschko. In reality, that's how history will remember it anyway. Only person he beat was Klitschko. That he ducked in the rematch.
Yeah. Like I said,
To go do
yeah,
some coke.
I can't even. I don't know, man, because like I said, I can't see the rankings of the people Wilder fought, but I say his resume is pretty decent.
No, it's not.
But
You can't even name 10 people on Wilder's resume.
10 people, I mean, I'm looking at his resume as far as the record wise. I mean,
And you sound like you know boxing too. So
no,
you
yeah,
probably
yeah.
looking at it
Well,
like, what?
no. I'm looking because I'm trying to see. You said you were saying how Mr. Byrne. I was just trying to see was Ariola. Yeah, he wasn't a champion. I was making sure.
Yep.
But no,
Severn
yeah,
was the
yeah,
champion, and then he wasn't in it when Wilder rematched him. He wasn't even in the top. Remember, I think he's coming off like a layoff or something like that. Like he
right.
wasn't even boxing no more. So when Wilder fought him again and knocked him out, but by the time he fought him and knocked him out, he wasn't even a top 10 fighter anymore. So if you actually look like Wilder, everybody talk about his power. Well, normally we would ask, well, who did you fight and knock out? And then you
Yeah, I'll
realize
say
he
that.
only
Yeah,
knocked
yeah,
out one person in the top 10, and that
yeah.
was Luis
Yeah,
Ortiz.
yeah. I agree. Yeah, how I view resume though is that if you have at least a winning record, you know what I'm saying. If you ain't got double-digit losses, you got to be a decent opponent, and you got to take into consideration every average, like it to be a high level boxer professional and be at the level at least these dudes he fought. You got to have some type of athletic ability, right? You got to have good endurance, some type of strength or something. I count that into resume. As far as name wise, if a dude don't get certain exposure, you can't use that because I mean it is what it is. Like it's certain fighters that we not seeing today because they don't got exposure there. Could probably be anybody in the top 5 and say the welterweight division, but we would never know because, like I say, simply don't have exposure. So I don't go off the names. I go off like I say, uh, the different athletic abilities that they possess, and if they have at least a winning record. You know what I'm saying? And if they're ranked. And like I said, I can't see the guys I only see their names. I can see the ranks. So at the moment, I'm not gonna just sit here and say, yeah, he got it. But I think his resume decent. What I'm looking at is decent. He's fought dudes that had winning records. Like he fought about 2, 3, 4 undefeated fighters.
That were usually old or
Yeah,
being
but
brought
still
up.
they're undefeated. I
They,
mean,
they were being
nonetheless.
brought up from cruiserweight as well. So if
Oh
you
yeah, you're right.
if you
Well,
if
no.
you
I
it,
don't think
it's
nobody's brought from Cruz
nah, it was a couple people.
that were
If you go
undefeated
through it,
that he brought up.
just go through it. Look,
Wait, hold on. You talking about that it was undefeated that he brought up from cruiserweight?
this is early on when he first turned pro, right?
Oh yeah,
And
yeah,
so,
In your first fight, you definitely fighting dudes that. But I mean, after he weighed
but
in
that's
like
not
that.
true. But that's not true. And the reason why that's not true, Joshua was turned pro after Wilder, 4 years
Mm-hmm.
4 years after. Joshua at what 15, 16 and 0 was fighting for a championship. So it's not as if Joshua started boxing at 18, Wilder started boxing at 18, 19. It ain't like it was some big gap or one person a blue chip prospect, other person ain't. It's just that people like Wilder and don't like Joshua for that reason. So they make excuse for Wilder, but then the
Yeah.
same excuse don't hold for Joshua, even though if you look at
No,
it,
no, no.
not
I
only is
agree.
Wilder not even in Joshua generation, he's actually in Klitschko in them generation. Wilder at 25, 30 something to know was considered a baby still and wasn't ready for Klitschko. But they throw Joshua in with Klitschko, and he ended up getting a W. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
but
it's like it's a
you gotta
we
take in consideration for
man.
Wilder though, not fighting anybody that was decent in his first say 16 fights because he had a bronze, but he wasn't a gold medalist like Joshua, so they weren't trying to get him on a fast track. So he had to work his way up to even get a name.
Nah,
But
if
Hey,
you an Olympus.
y'all keep chopping it up. I gotta go downstairs real quick.
You
no,
good.
I got you.
I disagree with you though. You're an Olympian. If you're an Olympian, that means that you were good
Never
enough to
played.
fight in the world stage. That means that you don't get the pass. You see what I'm saying? You're giving Wilder a pass that you wouldn't give
Yeah,
Joshua.
no, yeah, he was
He's an
Olympian, but
Olympian. You
no,
can't be
that's true. He
bringing up
was Olympian.
cruiserweights and old men, and that's different than fight. I get what you're saying. I ain't saying go put him in with killers off the bat. That's not what I'm saying. But when you up to damn near 35 fights, you still wasn't fighting nobody. He still don't got a Dillian White in his resume. Still don't got a Joseph White Parker in his resume. Still don't got an Andy Ruiz
But I
CES
mean,
on his
Joseph
resume.
Parker and Dillian White ain't no more known than Barry Severn, Arthur Spilka was,
No, you're lying. You
Ariola.
must mean in America, because in worldwide, Joseph
Even
Parker.
worldwide.
No, Joseph Parker is. You might. I'm let you because you seem like an intelligent brother. You do your research.
Yeah, I
I
tried
think you
to,
might want to
but
walk that back on Joseph Parker. And in his country, you got to remember, we in America, so we spoiled. But in his country,
Mhm.
he's very known.
What you said
It's a lot
worldwide?
of, huh? Yeah,
Are you talking about in this
right.
country or worldwide? Like,
Well, yeah. So in the UK is the. I go back and forth. People like this. They don't like to accept the fact. America is no longer the epicenter for boxing. It's the UK. It went back to being in the UK. In the UK, Joseph Parker is known. That's where. So if we going, we don't know a guy over here. To really know if a guy's unknown, I seen Lady Chan in the chat earlier. Ask her if she knows who Joseph Parker is, because she's from the UK. If we don't know and the Brits don't know, then they unknown probably. But
yeah,
the
yeah, I know
UK
what you
has
mean.
because all they
I,
got
I,
over there is boxing and football, so they know more. They're gonna know more about the worldwide boxing scene and the worldwide
I
football
think
scene.
it's opinionated with when it comes to that.
Now it's numbers to back it up. That's what I'm saying. Like
No,
if
it's
you
not.
if
'Cause I mean, if I
all
think
right,
the known, for example, Inoue, I mean, he's a domestic level fighter, and he only
he's
fought in the U.S. 4
he's
times.
in anyways domestic level.
Yes, I mean, he's mainly his fights were in Japan, and then he
So
fought like 4 times out of the U.S.,
where
which
you
I feel
from in the
like
country?
he only fought 4 times outside the
No,
country.
I'm asking you, where you from in the country?
I'm in U.S.
No, where you from in the country, though? That's what I'm saying. Like I'm in New
No,
York.
no,
Where you at in the country?
I'm in Illinois.
Right. So if me and you supposed to fight, and you can come to New York, which are we're down in the city. We got Madison Square Garden, we got the Barclays, the major venues, right? We have bigger, so we have more known venues than which I got in Illinois, right? But
Right.
you can come over here and make $4 million to fight me, right? And that might be a career high payday. Or you can fight in Illinois, or you can try to get me to come and fight you in Illinois and make 14 million.
Mm-hmm.
I think you're gonna take the 14 million in Illinois, even though you know that you might even get more exposure, quote unquote, for the New York audience. But you already know in Illinois anyway, and you're gonna get paid more money. That's our xenophobia of thinking that if you don't fight over here, it's not as important. In Japan, we don't have a star unless you count Canelo.
I mean, nah,
We don't have
I
a
know what you
fighter
mean, but
that's bigger. We
top
don't
level
even
fights are
we don't.
mainly like in the no, I know what
That's
you're
not true.
saying.
That's not true.
In the US,
That's not true.
just as much as in the UK, because that's where a lot of people make their mark. Like, if that was the case, Wilder should have fought Fury in UK, but he came in US to
Wilder
fight
had to fight
Wilder.
you, but Wilder had to fight Fury in U.S. because Fury can't
Yeah, yeah,
he couldn't yeah
but
that was that situation a little weird.
no,
He was
no, no,
Fury
no.
couldn't
Yeah,
fight
so
over
that's
yeah
a valid point. I mean,
yeah.
but just in general, like a lot of fighters that we see, top fighters like Crawford, he'd be fighting the UK, but no, mainly the top fights were in the US, like the people he fought. Like what I'm trying to say, basically, this how I see it. Most of the top level fighters, when they get on the stage, they come to the US. I know you said the UK. That's probably is true, but I feel like it's definitely between US and the UK because I mean, unless there's a worldwide ranking system, other than that, um, if you gonna say you the best fighter and you mainly fight in one particular area, and you ever fought outside, like where the people see you all over the world, like US or UK, you can't really say that. But the reason why I say US because honestly I'm mainly based in the US, but I would agree at UK too as well. But I can't just say only UK because I mean people from UK come over here and fight in the US to show, hey, I'm a star, I'm a talent. You
That's
know.
not why. It's because they have the leverage. That's why they do it.
Mm-hmm.
If 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 Bud and Spence are the two biggest names of welterweight, and you want to get a title, you want to fight, you got to go by their terms and conditions. Anthony
Right.
Joshua got fights, and his biggest fight period wasn't in the UK or the US. It was over there in Dubai, I think it was, right? So
No, yeah, yeah.
the biggest fights that take place where the biggest fighter won it. That's why it's also a joke. People call themselves world champions. Andre Ward never wanted to fight out of his hometown, right? Which is
No,
part of
true.
which is part of the reason why he didn't. As one of the many reasons why he didn't become a star, but a legit star. Not just meaning, of course, we know him, boxing community know him, but an actual like a legit star in the country is because he wouldn't travel and go fight when you needed to, and
Yeah, yeah.
also to be a world champion. That's why I respect Usyk. I'm gonna fight you in your country. I don't care where it's at. We can go here. We can go there. Stephen Fulton would never go to Japan to fight in a way. Stephen Fulton can't sell out a classroom, elementary classroom in Philly. But he would make you think that the fight would be bigger in Las Vegas here in the United States when we don't even we not even doing numbers for Fulton. But the whole country literally is stopping what they're doing to fight Inoue, and you'll get a bigger payday. So I can't go then with a fight would be bigger in America when the fight would be bigger for you to go over there overseas to go fight. Golovkin
It,
just went over there to go fight. Golovkin's
if
basically
you know,
mainly
yeah,
based
in a
out of
way,
Cali, and he
no,
went over to
I can,
Japan.
yeah, I can see that, but I mean, I would say shoot, then I would say definitely like it's been made seem that U.S. is the main place to fight, but I mean, at the end of the day, it probably will be a bigger fight, probably in Japan. But I mean, I just think we gotta take if we gonna really be about boxing, we gotta take away the fact, okay, you gotta fight here and here. I feel like if you're recognized worldwide known all over the world as okay, a known fighter here, not just in mainly Japan or wherever you from, then hey, fight or is it gonna be bigger here in Japan or US? Like, hey, make it happen. But the reason why
So
I say you,
think about what you're saying. Inoue got a bigger name than Fulton, and he don't fight in the
and
U.S. You don't fight in the U.S. that often.
true, but
You know what I'm
that'd be I
saying?
would say no. In Japan wise,
No, in the state. If you look it up,
I can't say in
pull
the
up.
States.
No, hold on. Look it up. Type in Fulton in Google.
Mm-hmm.
Type in Inoue in Google. See how many. That's like that. That would be the way for me and you, like just for time's sake. If we go look up both of their names, we look up how many articles published. We look at how many people viewed the fight when they fought here, or in anyway. Actually, is a bigger fighter than in Fulton. And Fulton is from America. That's what I'm saying about the xenophobia we got here. We think that we think the world revolves around us anyway, but we think the boxing still revolve around us, and it don't. And even in
Mm-hmm.
that case, you got somebody who don't even. I don't think anyway speak the language.
No.
He's talked about more, but it's also because he got ESPN. To be fair, ESPN is a bigger company than Showtime, but he has a he is a
Right.
bigger name right now in the sport than Fulton, and
Yeah, because filling over there at PBC. I just say like this is the only thing. I just say like if that's the case, then mainly fights that'll be big. We be trying to watch it. It'll be over there in Japan. But like I say again, I mean he's over there with Top Rank right anyway. That's an American-based company, I believe, right?
yeah, it is.
So I just look at it as okay, he's doing that for a reason to get exposure here in America, and obviously he already known in Japan. So I think it kind of goes hand in hand. But you right though, because I ain't gonna lie, what you just said right now made me realize, yeah, I mainly view the US as the main, but I mean it's that's what we've been seeing. I mean, think about it. Like a lot of fights, like Mexican fighters, they fight in Las Vegas and they could be set up. Why are they fighting here? If you know, because Mexico, that's big too, boxing, not necessarily, but a lot of
Oh, yeah, it's
Mexican
huge.
fighters,
You're
they
right.
I don't know, man.
You're right. No, you're
I
right. You're right.
yeah,
Because
I ain't gonna
boxing
lie. But
huge
what
in
you said
Mexico.
though made me realize I'm gonna have to start like looking at it like, you know what? How can we really rate a fighter? You know, if man, I don't know, man. I just say yeah, we gotta rate a fighter more than just off the popularity of here in America. I agree with that. You definitely changed my perspective on that because
Because if you think about it, people like Tank and Earl Spence for stuff that ain't got nothing to do with boxing. They be talking about how they dress and shit and they
right.
jewelry and
Mm-hmm.
but that ain't got nothing to do with it. That ain't got nothing to do with it in the ring or if they hang with their favorite rappers. And so it's
Right.
it's different factors that go into that. Like Ryan, like you were saying earlier, Ryan Garcia famous for TikTok and
Right.
it ain't his ring accomplishments because we know he only name he really got is Luke Campbell in the Cube. What's the Dominican duty for?
The Fortuna guy.
Fortuna, right? So, and we wouldn't necessarily consider neither one of those two to be an elite. We ain't mentioned them when we was talking about
Not sure.
Haney and Shakur,
No,
right?
you right.
So he famous for other stuff that ain't got nothing to do with boxing. People be having crushes on these fighters. That's what I be thinking.
No,
You know
for
what I'm
real.
saying?
No, for real. And you know what? I don't know if you believe in this, but a lot of the pay-per-view buys, like they say for Arrow and them, don't really be that big. Cause see, this is why back to your point when you said, like I see, you changed my perspective because then this shit got my eyes watered and shit. But no, like you changed my perspective. That's why a lot of these fighters pay-per-views they lie about them and they're not as big as they should because they're mainly fighting here and they're not really making themselves known worldwide, which is the point. Being a world champion, worldly, known. I agree. And I think it's not going to change. We might die and still not going to be the same. But we really should question that and really realize like the reason why these fighters aren't known is they should, especially pay-per-view wise. And if they want to be more exposed, they need to be fighting all over, not just here in US or maybe just like I say, a particular place in their country. They should be fighting all over. You know what I mean? To be more known. At least how I see it. But
No, that's a fact. And
yeah,
that makes that if you're gonna call yourself a world champion, I mean you can fight anywhere in the world.
yeah,
That's what
yeah.
that sounds like to me, and that's not what most of these fighters do. They don't even
No, they
leave.
don't.
They don't even leave. They Tank, not Tank. Who I'm thinking of? Haney can say that. He went to what he went
True.
to go do. That's a world champion.
Yeah, I respect that too. What he did. Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? That's a world champion. So people just again people be having their own criteria in their head, which is fine, but
Right. Right.
when you use it to discredit somebody else, like well, you got to be considered because
No, you do.
yeah. So, but so if you think that Wilder resume is good,
I say it's decent. I ain't gonna
it's
lie. I
decent.
say it's decent.
Uh,
But
I say
you know what? You could put me on that. Yeah, I say it's for him to fight where he fighting in America is pretty good, but maybe over there is probably trash. But
it
I
ain't
don't
good
know.
over here either. If listen, me like I said, you sound like you know boxing.
No,
When
I
me and
definitely
you,
do, bro. I definitely
if
do.
me,
It's
you, and
just
Bo all pulled his resume up on the screen, we all be trying to struggle and come here together trying to figure out who are 10 people that we can actually say we know and can say, oh, we saw them fight X, Y. We couldn't. The three of us together couldn't. All the
no,
knowledge we got, we'd be like, damn, who the fuck did he fight? Like,
because we haven't probably took the time and obviously and that's just due to exposure again. Like these fighters are not exposed enough. But like I say, I'll just take okay. We can't go off that because we can't control uh the viewers to see them. But if they have the athletic ability and their record isn't 50-50, and if they're ranked, I feel like you have a decent resume. But like you said, based on your research, Wilder hasn't fought too many ranked opponents. So yeah, his resume it can't be that good. But I can't, like I said, I can't go back and see okay, what was Chris Arreola rank? What was Gerald Washington? What was his rank? I would just assume they have to be somewhat ranked high because. But shit, cause I gotta find that, man. Cause I be trying to when I debate people, I don't debate, but when I were to debate somebody like and they ask like, cause I feel like if you're not getting understanding in a debate like we're getting right now, then there's no point in debating. But anyway, when you like when you look at, I just lost the train of thought. But yeah, when you look for like Gerald Washington and you trying to find his rank, you can't really look it up because they gonna say, shoot, he's a contender or something. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's really like you can't really find the rankings, man. I don't know why that is, but if I would have rankings, I can see, man, it would be a different story. Cause I put that as a resume. If you have a decent ranking, you're somebody decent on the resume. Cause I was just in World Combat Sport, right? He was telling me how like you heard of David Morrell, right?
yeah, he looked like he the goods too.
Okay, so let me tell you why Combat Sports. I don't know if you know that dude, WCS.
I know you talking about, yeah.
Yeah. So he say he doesn't think he is. I mean, he is kind of hype. He's kind of like Ennis. But my point was, I think he's decent because he fought in his second fight a fighter that had 20 more fights than him, and he fought 3 out of his 8 fights. He fought 3 undefeated fighters. You know what I'm saying already. That's to me way better. He's not, but Combat think he's kind of hype and he's kind of like almost like an Ennis where say if him and Andre, because the debate kind of started where I said I think Morrell would give Andre problems. I don't know if you agree with this. I think so, and I fuck with Andre. I think Morrell will give him hella problem, but they don't think so. The people over there in this chat were like, nah, Morrell, because Morrell never fought nobody, but I'm like, he fought a dude who was undefeated in your Bazanelli, who they fought a common opponent, and he actually knocked out the guy Morrell fought, who Morrell with 12 round with, even though Morrell did Bazanelli dirty. But, according to Combat, he would say he was a nobody because, yeah, he was undefeated, but who did he fight? But it's like we can do that with everybody. We can say who did this. If we don't do the research and know the people, we can say to everybody who did they fight. But it's like it's our job, or at least even though a lot of these dudes don't have promoters, that's why I say it's our job to somewhat do our research and kind of show these guys and see who are these people got, who are these guys that they're fighting. Because we kind of looking like casuals by saying who did they fight, because it's like, of course we're gonna say who if we're not studying and we're not looking at the people who they fought before they fight and who they fight. But man, it's just man, it's so much, bro. But nah, man, like, yeah, at the end of the day, like, yeah, I think a resume, man, to me, in my opinion, because I put in the category, if you a flag fighter, and the flag isn't about just speed, it's about, like I said, the power you got, which kind of added to strength and your endurance. Those like the 3 or 4 main. Let me see what the last thing in the what would you kind of add with strength? Speed, power, no speed, strength. Endurance. Yeah, I say those 3. I kind of add that as you pretty much have to have that to be a good boxer. Like if I wanted to go boxing right now, right, or say me and you wanted to go boxing right now, we would have to have one of those 3 abilities or develop that to be a great boxer. And the boxers that we see on TV, yeah, they might not, like for example, Hector Ruiz. Yeah, that dude, you could say who was he? But technically he was a great fighter, or at least a decent fighter, because he had to, in order to be where he was at, for us to see him on TV, he had to have some type of athletic ability to be even at the level to fight a Tank. He even fought Colbert.
That's true and not true.
Uh-huh.
Only because sometimes they just doing showcase fights. Sometimes they just finding people. You wondering where the hell he find some of these people at. I get what you said, because in this case that would be true. Hector earned a spot there because he beat Colbert in that case. But I agree with you with Morrell. I think he'd give Andre all types of trouble. I think, like I said, I think Andre is on the back end. I think he's it's not a sharp decline, but I am noticing that he don't look like the fighter he once was. And I think that's just normal for fighters anyway.
Yeah.
I think Morrell, he looked like the goods. It's hard to say he beat Alontes Fox better than Andre, because you can make the argument that Andre beat him first, and
That's true.
the
He
fighter
did.
ain't the same, whatever. I think that would I don't see why Andre would take that fight personally.
No, yeah, it
'Cause
was
that's the same
that's what
as
I'm saying. Because when they said that, I'm like, why would he do that? That doesn't make no sense. Why would he
yeah,
fight
it's not
Morrell?
for a belt. Morrell got the regular, which is not a real belt. You can't even unify a regular belt, so there's no point in even
Yeah,
fighting for a regular belt. And then on top of that, once again I go back to the Johnny Beck thing. You don't fight David Morrell and then go Johnny Beck wasn't a name either, because it ain't.
yeah, it
That's
kind
a
of makes it
lateral. Yeah,
crazy.
it's the same thing. It's lateral. It ain't like one guy is known more than the other guy, if anything. So I don't. You hear people saying Morrell is like, they hype him up like they do Boots, because they talking about Boots is second
No,
coming
no,
to Roy Jones.
when I said that, he kind of made it seem like that, but I'm like, I'm giving him, like I kind of said to you, the reasons why based off who the people he fought, his record.
Okay. Okay.
And I'm like, I mean, he's not like in this where they kind of, his record is literally padded compared to Morrell, where, like I said, his second fight, he fought a dude with 15 fights and he had a winning record with only 6 losses. You know what I'm saying? Like,
It-
and you don't see a lot of people fighting dudes in their second fight with like 20 plus more fights in them. You're not going to see that.
I think, yeah, like in all his fights, because Morrell, what is Morrell, 8-0?
8-0, yeah.
Yeah,
And
so all his fights, they're impressive from that standpoint, because everybody. I don't got his resume pulled up in front of me. I
no,
want
no,
to
yeah,
say
yeah.
everybody had double digits fights, right? Like
Yeah,
everybody had
damn
way more
near. He
fights than
fought,
him.
yes. And then in his
Okay, yeah.
third fight, he fought an undefeated dude who had 20 fights, 22 fights.
Yeah, so yeah,
Like,
that's different. That shows the levels that
that I'm
it
saying. But
yeah.
I mean, they think that they saying, Andre would beat him. And I don't even, and I think to some people, not them, but some people don't think he has a chance against Canelo. I think he would kill Canelo. This is my humble, not ain't humble, that's kind of arrogant opinion, but I think he would literally destroy Canelo.
You think he'd kill Canelo?
Yes, bro. Look at the Yarbosinelli fight, bro. Please look at that fight.
I've never seen Canelo visibly hurt.
Okay, all right. Nah, I ain't even trying to cut you off. Look, so the dude Morrell fought, right? Like I said
Uh-huh.
again, they fought a common opponent named Lennox Allen.
Uh-huh.
Morrell fought him first. He was undefeated. He went 12 rounds. Barcinelli fought him like a year or so after. He got him out of there. Well, after that, I think Murray had a couple fights. Barcinelli had a couple fights. Barcinelli, as this happened last year, he's undefeated. He ends up fighting Morrell. This happened like 4 or 5 months ago. Man, Morrell was pacing himself the whole fight, wasn't trying to go too hard. Gave dude a concussion. He was in a concussion for about a week or two. I mean, for a week or two. And he was pacing himself, bro. This dude was tough too. He's from I think he's from Kazakhstan, the same place where Janibek and Golovkin from. And he made him look like nothing, bro. He was laughing in the ring, bro. He was sitting there pacing himself the whole fight, 12 rounds. And when he knocked him out with the same punch. He knocked him out with like a left hook or something. But people like, oh, he made it go all 12 rounds. You know what I'm saying? Benavidez would have got him out earlier, but I'm like, y'all gotta understand, every fight is different. He was pacing himself. He wasn't trying to go in there and you know what we seen with Rashidi Ellis and win himself out and lose, or lose energy. But anyway, at the end of the day, for him to be pacing himself, bro, like look, I know you know the word pacing, meaning you just being smooth. For him to do that and still give dude a concussion, broke his face, nose, all that. Come on now, bro. Canelo ain't got no chance, dude. And he would beat Benavidez too, I think, in my opinion.
He don't got no.
I don't think so. I swear to God,
you,
bro. I'm basing this
you
off
could
my
be honest.
opinion.
Are you
but
one of
I'm
those
looking,
people that don't put no stock in Canelo wins?
I put stock in his wins, but his first 40, like I brought that point up too. You could say that with Canelo, his first 42 fights, hell no. Nah. But his last 15 to 20 fights, yeah, I put some stock in there because he fought. I mean, even though out of 20 fights, he only fought probably 5 good people.
Only 5?
Yeah. If it is, do you think it's more than 20? What his last 20 fights? What was? I would say it's only 5 people that were decent, like Austin Trout, Daniel Jacobs, Golovkin, then Floyd. I mean, you could put Mosley in there and McGill, but they were out of their prime. So who else? My bad.
Out of prime, that version of Miguel Cotto is better than.
Yeah, would you count that? I mean, he was
lot of
Cotto, but I wouldn't.
A lot of people resumes.
I don't know.
I would never use it as a like he beat. Okay, I got his resume pulled up. So his last 20 fights. I'm gonna just run the names down for you. Golovkin, Bivol, Plant, Saunders, Yildirim, Callum Smith, Kovalev, Danny Jacobs, Rocky Fielding, Triple G Trice, Chavez Jr., Liam Smith, Miguel Cotto, James Kirkland, Erislandy Lara, Angulo, Mayweather, Trout, Mosley, Lopez. I missed somebody. Rocky Fielding. I don't know if I said his name already. Like just going through his resume. That's 1, 2, 3.
No, that's 4, like what?
5, 6, 7. 7 are 5 of them are guaranteed Hall of Famers. The other 2 are arguable. Amir Khan's not a bad fighter.
No, for sure.
Not a bad fighter.
Yeah, I forgot about that's my bad.
Lara's not a bad fighter.
Yeah, Lara and
his resume. I don't really count. I'm with you. I don't really count the Kovalev because that wasn't Kovalev no more. That was a cherry pick. But
and then he fought Mosley, but I mean Mosley was definitely out of there. Like what?
When people say he hasn't fought anybody or his resume, like
I said, no, I ain't gonna say it for no, but I'm gonna because I know you asked me was it decent. I don't put stock into it because I mean, aside from them names that we mentioned, I mean the other dudes, like again, they have a lot of exposure, but also they were not like no really they were enough, but they really weren't giving him much resistance. But they were tailored for him, in my opinion.
Well, who you talking about?
The people who I think were tailored for Canelo.
Yeah.
Shit like the Rocky Fielding guy.
I agree.
Hold on,
I agree with that.
Let me see. Hold on, because
so when we were talking about earlier, using a Wilder example, do you think that because the point of that fight was him going up to that weight class and just getting the fight in that weight before he took on the champion? Right. Or does he have to fight killers every single fight?
In Wilder's case?
No, well, in Canelo's case, because that's what I think he has a different standard for some reason. He has to fight killers every single fight, but we not killing Andre for fighting Nicholson. when we know
You
clearly
said Canelo has to fight killers?
that's what everybody acts like he has to fight a killer every single fight.
Nah. I wouldn't say. I just say he got to fight someone that is least that people can know it's going to be a challenge, like Bibble, who was like a somewhat challenge. Plant was definitely a challenge until he
Saunders was a challenge.
exactly.
Jacobs was a challenge. Callum
Yeah,
Smith was a challenge. Golovkin was a challenge.
facts.
At the time, Leo Smith was a challenge. So he do got them fights. I just think
He
people don't
got the
like
fights.
Canelo because
For
they want
sure.
him to fight Andre or they want to fight Charlo.
I just say, but out of like, what is it? How many fights he got in total? 60-some fights. That's kind of okay.
That's great. When you got you have a resume that span over 4 divisions and you've been a champion in 4. Yeah, I remember he turned pro at 15 too. So it
True,
wasn't
true.
like he got Olympic experience. He's fighting against grown men. So if you're gonna give him that 3-4 year buffer where okay, he's a kid, his competition ain't gonna be elite off the bat, right? Like, 'cause, if we start to count when he started getting notoriety, what in 2010? From 2010 to now, his resume looked pretty good. Honestly, looking at it, from what I'm looking at, it gradually got better as he got older. Like he fought Lara when nobody wanted to fight him.
Yeah,
I thought
true.
he lost the Lara fight personally. But the point being, he fought him. He fought Trout. He fought Mayweather. Of course, he lost the Mayweather fight. He fought Mosley, and the reason why I don't got a problem with that fight is that Canelo was still young and Mosley was older. But at the time, we didn't know that Canelo was gonna win that fight. That was a fight for him to see where he was at. Like those are the fights that we want Boots to have now, or Virgil to continue to have. Those are the fights that are necessary when you fighting former champions, so you can see how somebody looks against somebody that got some type of skill, like you saying, or got some type, or they're smart fighters, or they got a certain style you haven't seen them against yet. Like
Yeah,
he
no,
has
yeah.
developmental fights yet. But I don't know. I don't rate him as high as his fan club do. I don't think he's
Yeah,
one of the 10 greatest fighters ever. But I think people underrate him because they don't like him. Like nah, it ain't 10 168 pounders you think that could beat him. If you being honest, it ain't
No, it's
10.
definitely it's
Yeah,
probably
it
not
ain't.
even.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so if he in a division, and the only person I see most people bring up is Benavidez, or Morrell that give him trouble, that mean he's a pretty good fighter. Then you don't think nobody else could beat him? I guess now Andre because he had 168.
I mean, it's other dudes out there I think that could beat him, but I mean, like I say, I'll have to look and see. But from what I seen, those two in that division for sure.
You talking about Andre and Morrell?
Yeah, yeah. Morrell, like you mentioned, Benavidez. Those I know. I was saying, yeah, you got him if you want out of the three, but
So
like
do
I
you
said,
think
Hey, appreciate y'all
Morrell?
holding it down for me, man. I just had to step away for a
no, you
second.
good, man.
Now you good. So you think Morrell
Uh-huh.
will pose a bigger challenge based off of the competition? This is what I'm saying. So hold on.
Do I
I'm
think
I'm
Morrell
I'm
be
a,
a
I'm a,
challenge to Canelo?
I want to
Canelo?
make sure I give you all the. I want to make sure I'm explaining exactly what I'm trying to ask. So just use for example earlier when I was saying I would rate Ortiz higher than Boots. Only even though when I watch the eye test, eye test tells me Boots probably looks better, but I would say Ortiz is better because
Based on you fight, yeah, I can understand that.
right. So with
I looked at
Morrell,
the.
if Benavidez fought Canelo versus Morrell fought for
Mhm.
Canelo, you would say you think Morrell has a better chance than like Andre or Benavidez, or just as good a chance.
Yeah, I think he definitely got a good of a chance. Yeah, for sure. And that's just me looking at the skills he possessed in his fights and his amateur pedigree. I think he was like, I don't know if he's Olympian, but he had a crazy amateur record.
Yeah,
They
he
claim.
blue chip. He considered a blue chip prospect because of his
Yeah,
amateur.
yeah,
I don't know.
yeah.
I gotta see it. That's just me. I wouldn't say I think he got as good a chance as Benavidez because he hasn't fought. He hasn't fought the competition to say that. We haven't seen him get punched by a puncher yet. We ain't seen him with somebody else that we would consider slick. We ain't seen him with somebody who's super busy that we know has credible. Like he ain't had the fights yet to say that. Nah, he beat Canelo. Like, I don't know about
Who y'all
that.
talking about?
You
We're
think that
talking about Morrell.
Morrell would destroy Canelo, and
Yeah, I think personally.
destroying I think is a little. I don't know about that
Mm.
one. Destroying is I don't know. That's a little bit far for me.
But no, yeah, we were just also talking about like Canelo resume and how good it may or may not be to people. I personally think it's okay out of his fights, but I know.
So you don't think he a Hall of Famer then?
No, he definitely you consider him a Hall of Famer for sure.
So how can you be a Hall of Famer with an okay resume?
That's to me. I mean, they put a lot of people in the Hall of Fame who don't have really much that
Like
don't accomplish.
like
Huh?
Andre Ward?
I mean, I think he deserved to be in there.
His resume trash compared to Canelo's though.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. Yeah,
Well, you mean as far as in terms of just having popular names, or just in terms of fighting?
Quality of competition.
I guess the
Okay.
quality competition. But honestly, if we go off I don't like I say, I think resume. If you want to go off the Hasi resume, Canelo definitely fought a decent amount of opponents that were pretty good. But I just think you could put that with any fighter. But I think the names though, what makes it more, that's just the names he got with the Austin Trouts and Gennady, and then he fought like the Mosley and Kodos, but
Even if we don't go by names, right? Because we all if we say a fighter to each other, we all gonna know how good or bad they were. If I tell you Andre Ward he beat Carl Froch, and I tell you Canelo Alvarez beat who could we use? I ain't even gonna use Floyd, of course, because Floyd is Floyd. Plus he lost to Floyd. Canelo beat Erislandy Lara, right? And we can do however you want. We can do resume, we can play eye test. You think that Andre Ward fighting Carl Froch was a better win than Canelo Alvarez beating Erislandy Lara?
At the time,
yeah,
I think it is because Carl Froch was a champion too. You know what I'm saying? And Ward won that fight. You know what I'm saying, with no controversy. Whereas though Canelo beat Lara, and that was a controversy. I honestly thought Lara won the fight. In my opinion,
Me too.
The fight was close, but I thought Lara did edge it out.
Me too, by the way. I think Lara won that fight too, by the way. All right. So okay, that's Carl Froch. We can keep going down. So then when Andre Ward beat, I think Andre Ward's best win is Kovalev, by the way. The Kovalev 2 fight. So you got Kovalev.
Yeah.
Do you think the Kovalev fight or the two Kovalev fights are more impressive than the two first Golovkin fights?
I ain't gonna lie.
I say both of those guys, Andre Ward and Canelo, in my opinion, lost the first fight.
I agree too, by the way.
But I ain't gonna lie. A long time ago, I looked at that fight and I seen it was. I had a 114, 113 to Ward, I think. But in the second fight, we know you won. But I mean, yeah, I can see why y'all say like, but I looked at it because I judge that objectively as possible. I try to count the punches that I see with my eye, and then I just go to the next round, do the same thing, and I even go as far like I do now, where I would just count every single punch, like for certain fights, like I count every single punch that landed for the Crawford Porter and the Arrow and Sean Porter, and I pretty much found out how, like, especially with Arrow Sean Porter, actually Arrow was beating Porter 7-2 based off the punches he landed over Porter. He landed way more punches.
What I noticed though, and the point I was making too about the Ward and Canelo comparison, what you'll find is gonna stop soon with Ward, and Canelo damn near triples him in terms of quality competition. But the way people speak of the two, you would think that Ward fought the better competition more consistently than Canelo, and that's not the case, actually. And in fact, Canelo often gets criticized for having this Euro bum tour, when if you look at Andre Ward's resume, that's all that's on his resume. And then people make fun of Tim Bradley, for example, but Tim Bradley has a better resume than Andre Ward. You're going by based off who he fought and when he fought him. So it's a weird thing.
But I also thought Andre Ward fought a lot of those guys at their when they were near their best.
Yeah, I'm about to
Whereas-
say, I ain't gonna lie. War has some like we gotta go back because he had a decent amount of people like the what's this green guy? I forgot the dude name.
Oh, Alan Green. Yeah,
Alan
Yeah,
like
he
that
was
Super
pretty
6, that
decent.
Super 6 tournament, that's what really put him on the map.
Yeah, and then obviously no Chad Dawson, but like it, I ain't gonna lie. Like if we gonna just go off resume to compare who a better fighter, I mean that's subjective. But I think, in my opinion, I think War would have definitely beat Canelo if they would have ever fought.
Oh, you talking about like head to head?
Yeah, because people always just compare. Yeah, because I mean, the whole point of people comparing resumes a lot, it be because let's see who's the better, who done better, or who even was the better fighter. But I feel like fuck all that. You got to fight that dude to show you better. That's how I see it.
Well, wait.
At what weight? That's a good question. I would
You talking
say
about, you
at
talking about middleweight? Because War for
no,
that
no. I
middleweight
like
too.
that.
Talking
I
about
like that question.
middleweight war or
I
super
would
middleweight
say
war?
no. Yeah, that's a great question. I would say middleweight Ward
Then
for
Canelo
sure.
gonna smoke him.
I think you think Canelo would smoke him?
You
No. Yeah, I said
Ward
what I
didn't stay
said.
there.
I think
Ward didn't
no.
stay there for long, because what he realized is that he cutting too much. He couldn't make the weight healthily. I really just set you up for a question because I know most
No,
people
you
didn't see
good. No. Hey,
too many of his
because
fights. But at super middleweight, I got Ward, but not at middleweight though. Ward almost got
okay.
knocked out at middleweight because he was weight drained.
Mm.
Which is where Canelo would try to fight him, knowing Canelo.
Right.
Probably would try to make him come all the way down to middleweight or some catchweight. So I think I think if you're talking about from a technique standpoint, I think Ward is a more complete fighter. In a lot of the ways that Ward fights, it would be interesting to see. I don't know if Canelo would have the answers needed to beat Ward. So I would favor Ward in that fight for sure. I don't. It's not much that Canelo has for Ward. Ward is a little chinny to me, but I'm not banking on a. I think so. I think I think Ward is I think just like Andre. This is when people talk about all the physical gifts of Andre. I don't think that's what makes him a great fighter. I think Andre knowing exactly what he is makes him a great fighter. I think Ward knowing exactly what he is makes a great fighter. Ward don't get into firefights, and as a matter of fact, Ward don't do nothing that you want him to do. If you went through a firefight, he gonna move. You want to move, he gonna wrestle you and bring you on the inside, make you fight in the inside. He does everything that he wants to do and knows you're uncomfortable with. That's why
that's a smart fighter. You don't want to be getting
that's
into
a
like
fact.
wars or whatnot.
That's a fact. No, that's a fact. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Ward and Andre, it's not. Yeah, they got the physical gifts, but I've seen fighters to me that physically are more gifted and more faster, puncher. It's the mental. They do exactly what they need to do, and they know what they aren't. They aren't. Neither one of them take the best shot. To me, that's to me. I've seen them hurt in more than one case. I've seen Ward out on his feet. He still won the fight, but I've seen him out talking about the fight.
Yeah, I did see that, but
You know what
I
I'm
never saw Andre like hurt. You know what I'm saying? Like I never seen him hurt in a fight.
You remember when Mosley caught Floyd and what Floyd did? He grabbed Mosley's arm so quick.
Right.
That's typically what Andre do. If he get buzzed in any type of way, he ain't about to find out if he got the chin or not. Which is smart, by the way. I agree with you. That's smart. He gonna tie you up. He gonna
But
bide his
you ever
time.
saw Andre get hurt like how Floyd got hurt though?
I'm trying to think. Not to that extent, no. I seen his legs buckle time or two though. Where that's what I was saying to you about last night. He got hit with some things even after the fight. Andre didn't seem. When I hear a fighter say I gotta go look back at the tape, that means it was a couple moments in there got you think about. Yeah, I need to make sure I correct some things. This ain't go how I wanted to go, how I thought it was gonna go. And that could be many factors, like you said earlier, Bo. Though he been out for a minute, etc. But he didn't react. It's been time or two he didn't react. Where he didn't react to me, where I go where the right person catch him with that shot, which is why I don't understand why Charlo was scared to fight Andre. Because in reality, as wrong as Andre is for Charlo, the version of him a few years ago is just as wrong because Andre gets hit with straight shots. Charlo's best punch is his jab. And that 1-2 or that one uppercut or that 2-3, that straight right now uppercut are shots that Andre is susceptible to actually. which is weird because he fights out of southpaw stance, but he gets hit with shots that usually southpaws don't get hit with. So that's why it was always an interesting fight to me, even though I favorite Andre. But I don't get why Charlo, his handlers, I'll say, don't want to make the fight, because in reality, Andre gets hit. Don't get hit often, but he does get hit. And so if lesser punchers make Andre kind of shut up and have to recover, get back to himself, at some point Charlo gonna we expecting Charlo to land. We just expecting Andre to be able to deal with it and outbox him. But it
But that
should be
guy, that guy he fought yesterday is a power puncher too, though. He's not like a. I think he got more knockouts than Charlo, if I'm not
no.
mistaken.
But you know how it's different types of power. It's heavy-handed people, it's explosive people. Charlo, both of the Charlos is fast twitchy. It's just explosion. It's exploding to a shot you don't see. Whereas, even though I know this guy punches hard, if I can brace myself for it, if I can still see the punch coming, it has a different effect on me. Charlo's shot is gonna come. There's a chance it's gonna come when you don't see it. Versus, and it's not even that he does such a great job at disguising it. It's just that they them the type of athletes where they just super athletic. They really both of the Charlos are better athletes than they are pure boxers, of course. So it's just shots that they catch you at the right speed with enough force on it. Where Nicholson, you look at him, he a big, strong guy. So it's just different. Like, and what I was saying to you earlier, I thought that Andre always weight drained himself at 54. Not so much at 60, but at 54, because of the reason I'm telling you about. I don't think he ever really took the best punch. I don't think he ever really responded well to big punchers per se. What it is that people underestimate his punching power. So no, he ain't a explosive one punch knockout power, but he got heavy hands too. And you can see when he punch people, they don't necessarily be excited to exchange with him either. So um but yeah, I mean, I feel like I've seen him I'm being long winded, but I've seen him and Ward
No,
get
you
punched
good.
at times where they not reacting as well. I think the difference being Ward got more dog in him to me than Andre to show, because Ward, even when it's at a disadvantage, in the inside, well, people don't like when I say it. I think Ward a dirty fighter. If not, he damn sure borderline. Him and Bradley,
Yeah,
I think
I ain't gonna lie. I thought
yeah.
he was kind of dirty,
Yeah, he gonna headbutt, he gonna punch you
headbutt the
below
shit
the
out
belt.
you. Yeah,
Yeah, like so that was his answer for it. Because in reality, ain't none of us up here trying to get headbutted. Ain't nobody trying to get their eyes with the thumb out of the glove. I don't see him do everything. Elbows, punch you in the hip, all that old school stuff. Ward do all of that. So it's just as
Yeah.
much as that as it is the skills and stuff. And and when Andre is pawing with his jab and he like to lean off to the left. I don't like that in a fight with him. I'll give you that when they're talking on the other channel. I don't like that in a fight with a Morel or a Charlo when their shots are straight and accurate. Because him getting punched in that position, mean he already leaning one way. And but that's why I want to see the fights. That's why, I don't want to get into all that why we don't get the fights, but that's why I want to see the fights, because while I think Andre should win, I could see it. I can see a scenario where he would could lose those fights too, based off his style. Because to me, Andre's at his best when he's counterpunching. When he has to come forward, that's when he's sloppy. That's when he gets hit.
Yeah.
Same thing with Ward. Ward is well, no. With Ward, if Ward can wrestle and be first, that's different. Then he's good. But when Ward has to be mid range, those are the times I see him get touched up from time to time and get caught with a shot he wasn't expecting. Because Ward is like, he's not an elite level athlete in terms of fastest hands, biggest puncher, best reflexes. He's like right under that, but he makes up for it with the other stuff he does. Like where you would go, Tank is a prototypical. That's the athlete you want. He got the great reflexes, great power, etc., etc. Or what they would say, fast twitchies. He got the fast twitchy muscles, all that type of stuff. So he'd be able to make up for him not taking that extra step for the jab. He can just shoot the gap because he got the speed and the reaction time to do stuff like that. But
Nah, yeah, for real.
but that's why I want to see them fight. That's why, Bo, I hope the fight happen.
Uh-huh.
And I want to bet you, I think that Mel would catch Crawford. And you keep telling me you think Crawford can outbox him, and I say Mel too big for him.
Oh, so my bad, my bad. You telling me that you think Mel would like say it again? I don't know why I just
Me,
lost you.
me and Bold have went back and forth a few times where he's saying that he thinks that Crawford should be able to beat Mel pretty handily, and I watch Crawford get punched
Mm-hmm.
and hurt by smaller fighters. So what you're trying to do is convince me that when Mel punches him, because Mel's gonna land, that Crawford gonna still be on his feet when Mel hits him with them straight
Well,
right hands.
yeah, you gotta think about it. Anytime he got hit, he was on his feet. It wasn't like he was hurt to the point where his legs couldn't be. He pretty much his legs was super buckled. Like in the Gamboa fight, his leg wasn't buckled crazy. He just like I think he like kind of slipped, and then he caught his balance, and then the next after that he kind of went back. You know, uh, hitting him with
Crawford
the
got
1-2.
dropped before.
Well, in the Cavalry, but I wouldn't consider that a knockdown though.
I don't know why. I don't know why they didn't count it. He only fell because of a punch.
No, he felt like when you a knockdown is technically, or at least how I don't know how they, cause it's kind of different how they see knockdowns. But I was like, if you get hit, right, and then you go down, obviously that's a knockdown. If you get hit with a series of blows, like you getting hit a series of blows by the glove, and
Mm-hmm.
you're going down, then that's also a knockdown.
Mm-hmm.
But what happened was this high, so he hit him, yes. Then what Crawford did, he like, okay, let me get an underhook. I think he got like an underhook in or something. And his only free arm was the Kavlas's free arm, I think was like the right hand, and he was like hidden, but he was missing. And then he was trying to get his arm that Crawford had hooked, and I think he was moving so much Crawford lost balance and he got back up. But it never in the time that Kavalauskas was hitting him and he went down. Only the punch that he landed and Crawford tied up. And then like I said, due to Kavalauskas trying to get his arms free, his momentum pushed Crawford down. Like I can explain that so in detail. Like if I had a video, I would show you like that wasn't necessarily a knockdown. It just was a slip, bro. But
Yeah,
yeah, that's neither here nor there.
his feet slipped after he got punched and tried to hold on to Kavalauskas. I
No,
know exactly what you're talking about.
he got punched. He hold him, and Kavalauskas using this force to get his arm free.
Which is
His
considered a
mom.
knockdown, by the way.
So
Because
you,
because if you get punched and the ropes hold you up, it's considered a knockdown. If you get punched and the only thing that's holding you up is you trying to hold on to me and you still end up hitting the ground, that's typically considered a knockdown. Like last night, Andre got knocked down. He ain't slipped. Got knocked down.
yeah. Like I said,
Yeah.
I don't got the rule book what consider knockdown, but I mean, I guess so, but I wouldn't consider it.
I
But
don't put as much stock into knockdown.
me
I
either.
think it's
But yeah.
boxing.
To your point though, if I were to say, I ain't gonna say he gonna have to box smart against Mel, but I think he'll be Mel.
He got to be perfect. Is my point. And Crawford,
I don't
that's
even
not.
think he gotta be perfect. I think
Craw-
he just gotta box smart. He ain't gotta. Oh, I can't get hit at all. I don't think so.
Man, so you think male power is not real?
It's real for sure, but I don't think Crawford's gonna fold if he get hit with a good shot by Mel. I don't think so. If that was the case, I think
Man,
Crawford wouldn't. I think Crawford would definitely not entertain the fight. I think Crawford every time he takes a fight, even like he want to prove he the best, like any other fighter, he knows he's studying those fighters that he's been studying Arrow. This is why he feel like he can beat him, not only because the fans and he want to show he studied. And same thing with Mel. I think he been studying Mel, and I think he know, okay, hey, I can get this dude. You know what I'm saying?
you do. Watching Jamel and Jamal fight, their weakness is body punching. The
He can
problem
do it
is
too.
for most people it's hard for obvious reasons, right? They uppercuts and they straight shots, it make it hard to get to their body.
Right.
But I'm not questioning if Crawford has the ability to beat him. I'm saying that Mel's gonna land him. He gonna land enough right hands that to me, I'm willing to bet that I'm favoring Mel. I
Hey,
respect
that's
weight
gonna be a good
classes.
fight. They ever fight, right?
I respect weight classes. I respect the fact that man undisputed. I respect the fact that I seen him knock out bigger, stronger people than Bud. And if you're telling me that Bud's been rocked by lesser fighters, and that
I wouldn't say
Mel
lesser, just smaller, but they weren't.
physically was what I mean. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
So
yeah. My bad.
physically,
Yeah, go ahead.
yeah, punching right. So to me, I'm gonna just it's times that a smaller person can hit harder than a bigger person. I ain't saying that's not possible, but I don't think that Gamboa or Kavaliauskas punches harder than Jamel. So Jamel landing flush or Crawford exchanging with Jamel, I don't think that'll end well for Bud personally. But that's why I want to see the fights though.
Yeah, that's
You know what I'm
yeah.
saying?
But no, no, that's what you said is a fact. Yeah, they don't. And yeah, this is why a lot of other people. I ain't finna bring another. I was gonna bring this other YouTube. I know you don't watch a lot of YouTube, but I'm the same way. I don't watch a lot of YouTube channels who be playing narratives. But this Bruce Vane guy, he's like really big on Crawford or whatever. He think that's really and I kind of agree with he say. That's the fight that he can see. He don't see the air fights being the fight that actually is the biggest fight and tough fight for Crawford. He sees the male, and I agree. And that's yeah. Based on what you said, yeah, I agree too. I think that's the fight that's gonna see Crawford. I mean, I believe Crawford's about it, but like you know.
But ain't that crazy though? That people hate Crawford so much, he got to keep moving up weight divisions
Yeah, bro.
so they can see
I
him
don't,
lose.
bro. I'm telling you, if you know me, man. If you knew me, man, I'll try to support Crawford because it's sad, bro, and the way he looked to it, like I don't respect it at all, bro. I don't respect it at all, and I think it's a thing because the way he been to certain media and behind the scenes, but there's definitely like a certain I can't think of the word, but there's something going on behind the scenes as to why he's being treated like that. Because I ain't never seen a fighter I mean, Floyd, yeah, he had hate, but that was from like fans you see in the comment. But this dude getting hate from other fighters, the fans, motherfucking. I mean, and it's crazy, bro. He getting hate all angles. You know what I'm saying? I ain't never seen nothing like that.
That hate is usually just in the what they consider to be LDBC
Yeah,
community.
but even then, well, you know what? Yeah, it's from them too, but
They
it's
don't like it.
crazy, bro. It's crazy, man. And then like,
From what I've gathered,
uh-huh.
just they don't like him because he didn't give certain people certain
No,
interviews
yeah.
when they wanted it.
Facts.
And then also Crawford is his own man. He's not a yes man. He not into all of
You said it, bro.
the BS and nonsense. So
Exactly.
if he see that you on that type of time, he not gonna deal with you. But I don't care if as long as what you doing. Listen,
Uh-huh.
people like fighters who morally they shouldn't. So if somebody outside the ring ain't, I try not to focus on some outside the ring stuff as much anyway. Because then, to be honest with you, we wouldn't like most of the fighters we see here. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
people making it about stuff that ain't got nothing to do with anyway. It's about what you're doing in the ring, and that's all it's about. But it's not how the world works. So,
No,
but I'm about to take off, y'all. I
no,
appreciate
yeah,
you
good
having me
talk,
on.
man.
Next live boat, I try to chime in, support your channel. I'm gonna check out your channel too as well.
Thank
It
you,
was
bro.
good talking to y'all.
Thank you, man.
Y'all have a good night, man.
Yep. You too, man. Stay safe,
All
man.
right.
Yeah, man. Hey, I appreciate you for having me on, Bo. Yo.
Hey, y'all still there?
Yeah, yeah. He went off, man. He was saying he'll see you next live.
Oh, all right, all right. Yeah, I'm up here trying to cook some food, man.
Oh, you
But
good, man? I appreciate you for having me on, man.
oh yeah, no problem, man. I'm just really just starting my lives and whatnot, man. A lot of times I've been making videos trying to edit them, but that joint be time consuming.
You know what, dude, bro? I'm just starting. I'm seeing that too. Not to cut you off, yeah, it's definitely time consuming, man, and like you definitely gotta, like do your research, making sure you're doing everything right. Like I'm the same way where it can be kind of difficult. Like okay, you never use this stuff like StreamYard. I'm realizing it's actually pretty useful, bro. Like if you ain't need help with anything, like it's a feature, like man, where you can share screen. Like for example, you could do a video. like if you probably see if one of my latest videos like on my channel, and I'm using StreamYard where I'm sharing like a certain site I'm talking about to people,
Oh, okay.
and I'm screen sharing like I could I could just show my screen and I could just talk over it like do a voice like it's literally a voiceover pretty much. It's dope though. Like yeah.
Yeah, that's why I gotta get good because I a lot of times, man, I make videos. I already done talked about the video, but because it's so time consuming with the editing, a lot of times time doesn't elapse, and I just be like, well, fuck it, let me just throw that shit in the trash, and then
Mhm.
try to go on to the next one. So what I'm gonna try to do is just like a lot of live streams because it's a lot easier to, like you said, to talk about your subject matter
Mhm.
and everything is right then and there.
Yeah, it is, man, and that's why I like StreamYard. So, like I said, if you definitely have like a question, which I know I mean, like I said, I'll come in your live. Like, yeah, if there's just any questions or something, just let me know. Like, but yeah, man, yeah, for sure. Cause I'm starting to do that too. Like, I'm about to do like live breakdowns on fighters and stuff and everything. You know,
Oh yeah.
but no, man. I think I had met you on the combat stream. I think. Yeah,
Say
yeah.
that one more time. I ain't even hear you.
No, I said I think I had. I think we had met on the combat stream.
You said the combat stream?
World Combat channel.
Oh, World Combat Sports?
Yeah, I think that's what I had met you on. I'm like, I
Oh, okay,
think.
okay. All right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, a lot of times, like, I be on a B Mac joint or E Thriller, or I be on like King David. I be in his chat, or a lot of times I be on a panel too.
Right.
Yeah, but I try to get in, especially when somebody hop on and stuff. But yeah, man, I appreciate you coming on too, man. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I got to start doing a lot more of these and whatnot. But
Yep.
yeah,
Yep.
but hey, I'm gonna shut the stream down, man. And when you doing your live?
Oh man, if I was gonna do one, I would say probably like in an hour or so, like
Oh, you gonna do one
7,
in an
8.
hour?
Yeah. I
All right,
might just
I tell you what, man. If you do one in an hour, man, I'll come on, hop on and stuff.
bet, man. Yeah. I might just do a little live talking about. Cause I did a little post fight, but I might just do a recap or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure, man. But yeah, I appreciate it, man. Yeah, I definitely I'll say I'll schedule it. So you will see on my channel, I'll schedule the live.
Yeah, I gotta figure out how you schedule them joints. Do you gotta pay for it to schedule?
Oh no, so yeah, I'm glad. Yeah. Let me at least give you some before you go. Yeah. So like when you go on StreamYard,
Yeah.
you can go to broadcast, you go to create, and when you go to like the live stream,
Yeah, because I try to schedule it,
yeah. When you before you
but
create,
it didn't work for me though.
yeah. When you go and create a live stream, you click like your channel. Don't click on create broadcast. Like it be on the bottom left, it will say schedule for later. It was like
Oh,
on the
okay.
bottom left.
You ain't gotta pay for that feature?
Oh no, you ain't gotta pay for it. Nah, that should be free. Like, I got the basic thing, and the reason why I got the basic thing because I think on the free one you can't save your, like, for example, if I got like past recordings I want to keep and look at them again, like you can't do that with the free one. Like, you can't save your recordings and whatever, something like that. It's like small stuff, but that's why I got the basic. It's like I forgot the other features you get with it, but you just do that like before you create a broadcast. Just go to it's just say like something like under privacy, like schedule for later.
Oh, all right. Hey, King David in the chat, he want to know what your channel is. I know you want
Oh
to shout
yeah,
out the channel real quick.
oh yeah, man. Thanks, man. It's let me see. I'm gonna have to go on your channel on YouTube. It's let me see. Can you it's right here if you can see it, bro. It's
Oh, you
that
talking about
name.
like the name, right?
Yeah. But what I'm
Yeah.
gonna do, I'm gonna go on your thing. and I'm gonna go come in and link it or whatever. Like, yeah. Let's see. Hold on. Hold on.
Yeah, because I definitely gotta play around with the live stream. Cause
There
yeah,
you go, King David. Yeah, I hear you. Yeah, there you go, King David. I don't know if I could post links in your thing, but let me see. Did it pop up? Yeah. Yeah. I think it should have went through.
yeah, because
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I try to schedule something, man. And that shit didn't even work out for me, man. It still
Yeah,
says
yeah.
like it's scheduled, but it doesn't show up on YouTube for some reason. So maybe I did something slightly wrong or something.
Yeah. But what the? Hold on. Why is it not? Shoot, I'm just gonna type it in the chat. this thing is not
You put it in the chat.
Yeah, I'm about to put it in the chat because for some reason, like, it's not it's not linking it. Like, I don't know what. I don't know. Yeah, I just put it in the chat, so he type it in as such, it should come up. But yeah, bro. I don't know if I told you, man. I did a video about. I think I said it earlier. Like, I did a reason why I believe the fight of Crawford and Errol would happen this year, and I gave my points and stuff. And like I shared my screen and all that, like using StreamYard, right? And pretty much like my videos are like 300 viewers right now. Yeah, I got like 300 views, and that's like my 10th video, but that was like my first video that I did that I really used that StreamYard feature.
Oh, you say use the feature?
Yeah, the feature where I was sharing my screen and I was showing my points of like putting the clues of why I think the Errol and Crawford fight would happen. And like I said, right now I got like 300 viewers.
Yeah, I gotta figure out how to do that. So would you just like clicked on a link or something and put it in there?
Yeah, so what you do is like when you on the record, like what you on right now, you go like on your little studio, you go into the studio and like how you add a person, like it should be on like on the bottom.
Yeah, see, like the only thing I figured out how to do where it says present and
Yeah, that's where you go
I
to.
load where it says video file. It's one says slides, another one says extra camera, video files, and then at the bottom it says share screen.
Yeah. That's what you do to share it. That's the one. You do that, press share, and then
So you hit share screen and then click a link or something.
Yeah, you could click a link or you could click your window. It should show like Windows tab or Windows tab. Yeah. Those should be the ones that showed in. When it show the tab, you can go like on your current tab that you own, or you can go like on your window and like it can show everything that you're doing on your computer or whatever device you own. It shares that whole screen.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and also you can share the audio too. So like say if you want somebody to listen to a video that you seeing on Twitter or something, you gotta before you confirm to share the screen, it should be on the bottom left that say share system audio or something.
Yeah.
And then you click that in there, it shares the audio. So like you can hear, like people can hear you listen to the video. It's like it's crazy, man.
Damn.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start fooling around. I thought when that share screen button was like you share the screen with somebody else.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. You can do that too, or you can like share to anybody, like when you do a live, like and whatever. Yeah. Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. StreamYard pretty cool, man. I ain't know StreamYard was this advanced. I thought it was only like you add people on, that's it. I didn't know you can do all that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty dope. I see why people be using it.
Yeah, I'm gonna definitely do my start fooling around with it.
Yeah, for sure.
But what time you starting your stream?
Let me see. I think I'm gonna schedule it like right now. I'm gonna schedule about an hour, like around like 7:30. I think 7:30, 7:40, something like that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
you Central Time. You're not on the East Coast, right?
Yep, I'm Central Time. Yep.
Oh, okay, all right, cool. All right.
Yeah.
All right, man. So I catch you on your stream, man. Once you bring it up, man. I gotta finish making this food, then I gotta pick my daughter up.
Nah, I'm looking at King David. Hey, King David, man. I'm this name, it has meaning to it, man, and it's unique. But I feel you though. It will help the algorithm more if I had like an easier name, but nah. I like names with meanings and stuff, bro. But no, I appreciate it though, King David. But no, what you saying? Dang, man, I can't.
Yeah. I'm now I was saying I was gonna hop on you live and once you put it up.
Yep, I got you. Yeah, appreciate it, man.
Hey, no problem, man.
Yeah.
Any last words, man, before I shut it down?
No, I would say, man, it was some good boxing last night, man, and let's hope for a good year of boxing and yeah, man, salute, man. Thank you for having me on the panel and have a good one, man.
All right, you too, man. Salute, bro.
Yep, salute.
All right, so I'm going to end this stream right here, man. I appreciate everybody that came on. Catch y'all on the next one. Peace out.